do that and do one of those, and then pull that back down, pull this back up, and then we kill a couple of minutes to see if anybody actually shows up. Hey, hello.
Yeah.
We're live.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. So, and also on top of that, Cannibal Holocaust, like, it's the pinnacle of cannibal flicks.
Mm-hmm.
It's been talked about to death. Mm-hmm. Granted, not that I'd be opposed to having a conversation with the four of us about it. Absolutely not. But it's fine. You know? It's kind of like, oh, well, Shaun of the Dead is an amazing horror comedy, but we didn't cover it in Horror Comedy Month. Yeah, that's fine, because everybody's fucking talked about Shaun of the Dead. We all know it's amazing.
Yeah.
We don't need to spend, an hour talking about it as well to cover those bases.
Heck yeah. Hate the new Twitch layout. So
It's so fucking goofy. It's like there's not a channel page. It's just like a background. Like I see myself live, but I then also have to click on watch now to actually watch the stream and see chat. It's so fucking weird. And just not intuitive.
It's like negative space on a newspaper. That's what it reminds me of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, why? Why would you do that? Although I did notice in Twitch updates, so a while back, I stopped getting emails notifying me when channels I follow went live. They just stopped. And in the last week or so, they've started again. Because suddenly I have
notifications turned off. I don't do that for anything.
Fair enough, but like I left them on, and suddenly I was like getting flooded with emails of like all these channels have gone live, and I'm like, well, that hasn't happened for like a year and a half. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I don't know. I don't know what Twitch does. Twitch is weird. They're fucking weirdos.
Yeah, that's true. Twitch do be twitching.
Mm-hmm.
Twitch do be twitching.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Oh, that's not the command I wanted to use.
Uh-oh.
Oh, Boone, I meant to ask you.
Yes.
When we go venture out into the wilds tomorrow, when we do our planning thing, do you want a physical planner as well? Or would you or is Google Alerts going to be enough for you?
I have to plan stuff now?
Well, no, not you, just to have it handy so you can reference it.
I mean, I just get reminded by other people being like, hey, this is a thing that's happening. I'm like, oh yeah, I remember that.
Okay.
I also do that method sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't need a planner, for sure.
Okay.
I've tried, like, Google reminders and whatnot, and, like, they pop up, but then I just kind of ignore them.
That's what Fish said.
Yeah.
I do too. Yeah, that's exactly what I said.
But that's the thing. If I had a physical planner, I would also just ignore that. So
yeah, I won't. See, I won't. Like that's what I was telling.
What I respond to is somebody telling me like, "Oh, hey, this is a thing that's happening." I'm like, "Okay." And if it's like the next day, I'll be like, "Cool. I'm aware of this." If it's like 2 months ago, 2 months away, I'm like, "Sweet. I'm going to immediately forget this." Somebody will remind me when we get closer to the date, because 2 months from now is nonsense time. It doesn't exist. Fucking anything could happen. So, like, I don't worry about it. Past a certain point, I don't fucking worry about it. That's a problem for future me.
All right, makes sense.
on,
No, I just
yeah.
figured I'd ask since we were
Mhm.
venturing into the wilds tomorrow.
Yeah, no.
I'm
If
so
you're
excited to do.
if you're budgeting any money to buy me a fucking planner or anything like that, you could just like redirect that money to like get me a Blu-ray or something.
I mean, that's a possibility. I just gotta wait and see how much my face masks and the new lotion cost.
Oh, listen,
Yeah.
it worked with Fish once when she was trying to buy me Fall Guys cosmetics, and I was like, please don't.
mean-
I was like, jokingly, I was like, you know what? If you want to buy me, if you just want to spend money on me, like I can send you something to spend money on me, which is like roughly the same amount that you would spend on the Fall Guys cosmetics. And then she did it, so I was like, win.
Win.
Yeah.
I mean, did it not work?
It worked for sure, but it wasn't like competition for sure. Like it was.
No, I
like,
wasn't
I
implying it was
gonna spend that
competition.
money either way.
Yeah, I was like, if you're dead set on spending money on me, I'll give you something that I actually want. I don't really
Right.
want Fall Guys
Exactly.
cosmetics. They haven't released the Undertaker skin yet, so I'm not willing to spend or have others spend money on Fall Guys cosmetics for me or myself or whatever.
Right.
All right, so I guess we can get this going.
Yeah.
We're
Let's
all
go.
Hey, all you cats and kittens out there. Welcome to the Spookshow, Twitch's only horror movie talk show, baby.
Ew.
Still no one has said other. Cal left! Anyway, I'm your host, Boot Scrublord, and with me tonight are my beautiful co-hosts, Nefarious Nerdette, Sprinting Fish, and Kettle on the Coil. What's that?
Did you switch screens?
I didn't. No. We're still
Okay.
on. Oh, there we go. We can do this. This is fine.
Yeah.
I should have. Yeah, that's a good plan. Yeah, that makes sense. Since I'm doing the monologue. If you've never been to one of these shindigs before, I'll break it down for you. Every month we got a theme and we get each pick a horror flick. Then we watch them all. Then once our brains are fried, we award the movie's points based on a selection of arbitrary categories. We also tally the total number of times people die, do drugs, chug booze, get naked, and have sex to determine a movie's base score. I gotta rewrite that. That's a clunky fucking sentence. Then we get together and talk about the movies. We'll talk about the shit we liked, the shit we didn't like, random side tangents involving how many calories are in the average slice of a human being, and then comes the big reveal. Tallying up the points to see which of the four movies rises to the top. But wait, there's more! Whoever selected the winning movie for the month then gets to decide what next month's theme is going to be, and then the whole vicious cycle continues. For the month of September 2020, Neffy chose Cannibals. People eating people. It's on the extreme side of the spectrum of taboo acts. Just a tick above incest, but several ticks under eating a beloved family pet. Isn't that weird? Think about it. Gun to your head, you had to eat one. Are you going to eat the braised ribs of some unfortunate human you didn't know, didn't care about? Or your cat Sprinkles? Like, which one are you going with? This isn't a spectator sport. I want answers. Hello?
Wait.
Are there not three other people in the call? Hello?
No, I didn't know you wanted an
I'm
answer.
sorry, what
I
was the question there?
The question is, gun to your head, you gotta
Yeah.
eat one.
Okay.
Braised ribs of some unfortunate human you didn't know and don't care about, or your cat Sprinkles. Which one are you eating?
Human.
Yeah, the ribs. Yep.
Human ribs? Naffy?
We don't.
People.
You're eating the people.
Mm-hmm.
Alright. But, like, that's an unfair scenario, since, you know, in the scenario, you're emotionally invested in the cat. So let's just say, plate full of man ribs, plate full of dog ribs. Which one are you going with?
People.
Man ribs.
Then I'm not as sure.
Then you're not as sure. So the emotional disconnect.
The
with
emotional
the
thing
animal,
for me is a thing.
Okay, that's
But
the
yeah,
line. Okay.
Yeah, a lot. Because I mean, the people would be interesting, but then there's also like the repercussions of.
Well, you wouldn't
people.
get in trouble. You wouldn't get in trouble. Like legally, you would not get in trouble for doing it.
Oh well, shit.
Yeah.
Now
If it's
I'm a little bit more
hypothetical,
interested.
legally you would
You
not get
got
in
like a hot
trouble.
semen plate of either
Hot semen
species.
plate, yeah.
Steaming, I said.
You gotta glaze it with something, and you're already eating other people, so.
I'm not marinating that.
All right. Well, I mean, maybe I'm revealing how fucked up I am, but I'm going with the man ribs as well.
Donut.
Even a dog I never met, never played fetch with, or gave belly rubs to, it feels more wrong, doesn't it? To eat the dog
does.
over the person?
Like, it would take a lot for me
I mean,
to eat dog.
It would take a
well,
lot
in the
for
scenario you
fish to
said
eat dog.
plate full of ribs. The dog's already dead. In this scenario, it sounds like.
Yeah, but
Yeah, but just committing that extra.
Okay.
The human's already dead too in both of these scenarios.
Yeah.
So like, they're already dead. Like the crime has been like the murder aspect of the situation has already been sorted out. That's on someone else's shoulders. Right now, you're just looking at two plates: one man ribs, the other dog ribs.
Mm-hmm.
Which one are you reaching for?
yeah, I'm going for the
People.
long pig.
Yeah, I'd probably go with the man ribs if
The
they looked
people.
appealing enough.
Right?
Although if this is a starvation situation, I would eat both of them.
Well, it's
Yeah,
not a
there's
starvation.
that too.
It's not
Yeah, like-
the starvation situation. Like that's where like even cannibalism is like, yeah, you did what you
Yeah.
had to do. That's a completely different scenario. At that point, you do what you have to do, and people only look a little weird at you, but they don't really judge you.
Takes so much for me to eat a dog willingly.
Mm-hmm.
Cat, like anything that could be considered a domesticated pet would take even
Yeah.
guinea pig. And I know
That's-
that's a delicacy.
That's kind of what I'm getting at, because it's not to say that the notion of eating another human being doesn't feel wrong too, but for some reason it feels less wrong. Or maybe in some other ways it feels more wrong, which makes it all the more appealing to do. Because that's kind
It's
of the
very
nature
subjective, I
of
think.
it's subjective for sure, but like generally speaking, because like I just presented that scenario, pretty much everyone was like, "Oh yeah, I'm eating the human over the potential beloved family pet," like full
Yeah.
stop. That's just instinct. That's just like no. The fucking cute fuzzy animal is, even though it's already dead and reduced to a meal, fuck that. Give me the human.
I'm gonna throw a curveball. Like, I wonder if it's also just because the social experience for all four of us is that we don't know any better. Like, dog could probably taste really good.
Probably.
I mean, human
And-
could taste really good too. Like that's the
But-
thing. Like,
But like, we know more about the fact that humans taste more like pigs than we know about what dogs taste like. So I wonder if like there's a comfort in knowing what that human's gonna taste like versus ew, there's this dog I gotta eat.
So
well,
fun fact.
that's
Fish,
overthought to a crazy degree.
human is more akin to venison than it is pig.
Oh, is it? I didn't know
Yes.
that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I it used to be said, at least as far as I knew before you just told me that like it tasted like pig and that we're more like pigs, but that makes sense, venison.
Yeah, and I know why we're
It's
called
right
long
here.
pig, and there's a story behind it, but we're still just in the intro, and I do not want to derail this any further than
Okay.
it has been.
Well, this is the last time I involved the monologue into a spectator, or not a spectator sport.
Kind of fun.
It was fun. I actually might do this more. But anyway, like that's the nature of taboo. It's the stuff that's so universally maligned that it tickles that urge to be incredibly evil for 5 minutes and do it. Just once, just to see how it feels. Whereas eating someone's family pet just feels downright mean. Pet the dog, eat Scott's liver. That's my motto. Who the fuck is Scott? Listen, we said we'd never talk about Thanksgiving 2015 ever again. But since you brought it up, the liver was alright, but there's really no competing with Emily's eye jelly on that toast. It was just, ooh, chef's kiss. But enough about that. We can swap recipe cards later. We're here to talk about cannibal movies. Because if it's taboo, you can bet your long pig chops that the horror genre has tackled it to the ground, beat it over the head, tied it up, and paraded it around town for everyone to stare at. And it was back in the 70s that cannibal flicks burst onto the scene and really took off, predominantly courtesy of some Italian filmmakers. Umberto Lenzi started the craze off with his 1972 flick, Man from Deep River, and Antonio Clamati brought an end to the cannibal craze in 1988 with Natura Contro, also known as the Green Inferno, but not Eli Roth's Green Inferno. They're two different movies. Of course, the pinnacle of cannibal flicks is Ruggero Deodato's Cannibal Holocaust, released in 1980. A movie that also takes credit for being one of the first found footage flicks about 19 years before Blair Witch ever happened. Cannibal Holocaust is the deluxe Cadillac of cannibal flicks. A movie so realistically gruesome that Deodato was actually arrested and brought to court both for obscenity, but also because people really thought he'd killed some of the actors. He hadn't, although a number of the animals weren't so lucky. That didn't stop the flick from being banned in numerous countries for a long damn time. It's frequently on lists of the most extreme, hard-to-watch movies of all time. It's a harrowing, emotional roller coaster of fucked up shit, and it has one of the most bizarrely amazing themes of all time. And it is not one of the 4 flicks we're covering tonight. So, what are we covering tonight? Well, from 2007, we have Welcome to the Jungle, about a group of dum-dums who decide to head out into the untamed wilds of Papua New Guinea to solve the mystery of Michael Rockefeller's disappearance, only to piss off the native tribes. We can call this one watered-down Cannibal Holocaust for reasons that'll become obvious once we get into it. From 2013, we have Eli Roth's love letter to cannibal exploitation flicks, The Green Inferno, involving a group of idealistic idiots racing down to the South American jungles to save the rainforest and the tribes that live within them, only to become dinner for those tribes. From 2015, we have Bone Tomahawk, a wild fusion of classic Western meeting extreme cannibal exploitation where Sheriff Kurt Russell takes a group out to rescue some kidnapped folk from a tribe of primal Native Americans. And from 2016, we have Raw, the latest cannibal flick to scratch at the infamy that Cannibal Holocaust has gained over the years. About a girl heading off to vet school only to quickly discover that the road to full-blown womanhood is paved with tasty man meat. I hope you're hungry, because tonight we dine on long pig. Alright, we're in.
I had dinner shortly before the show.
Well. Oh, I hope you saved room for tasty desserts then, I guess? I don't know.
Yeah. What's for dessert? Meat.
Yeah, more meat. It's human.
Right. Fair enough.
It's human or dog, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I set that up. Anyway, how's it going?
Pretty good
well.
overall.
Yeah.
How's the
Had a
boon?
chill day overall. Yeah.
I'm good. I'm excited to get into this.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, so Welcome to the Jungle from 2007. This is my pick, and it was a movie that I didn't really even know existed until like a few days before you won last month and picked Cannibals for the theme. And I was like, you know what? I just kept up the tab that I found it on, because I'm like, you know what? If she wins, I've got a pretty good idea that she might pick Cannibals. So fuck it, I've never seen this movie before. It wasn't. I wasn't expecting much from it. On some degrees, I got more than I was expecting, and then it kind of hit the 1/3 point of the movie, and suddenly it gave me pretty much exactly what I expected going into it. It's found footage. Like, and it really is. Like, this movie to me is watered down Cannibal Holocaust. Like, it's very clear that's kind of, that was a lot of the inspiration for it. And then they got to a third of the way in, and they just kind of devolved into the tropes that I hate the most about found footage flicks. That being, you have to make every single character a complete unlikable douchebag. Like, was that just
they
me?
did a really good job
were
at
there
that. I
any
hated those
likable
fucking people.
Okay,
I hated them all. Yeah.
Every single one of them. They were horrible.
They just kept getting, like, that was like the middle half of the movie was just burning time to reinforce how much you didn't like these people and you wanted to see them get eaten. Which it honestly, it's not even a found footage trope. It's just a horror movie trope where they do this shit, and it's always so irritating. I was surprised that the whole Michael Rockefeller plot device that they use to, like, be the instigation for doing the shit, all that is basically accurate. Like, he did go missing in that area, and he was never, like, his body was never found. They don't know what happened to him. He may have drowned, or he may have been eaten by fucking cannibals. Like, he may have literally been eaten by fucking cannibals. They don't know. So I thought that was interesting. I thought it was interesting that they took the care to actually get that right. And it's kind of an interesting story. Unfortunately, after they introduced that story, they just kind of went into, hey, one couple is incredibly alcoholic and reckless, and the other couple is incredibly straight-laced and boring. Let's put them together.
What happens when we're within their roommates?
Let's put them together and put them out in the wilderness in a survivor situation and see what happens. Like, that was the majority of the movie. It was fucking irritating. So a little like behind the scenes stuff. The movie had a budget of $200,000, which isn't a lot. It's a lot of money on the grand scheme of things in movie making. That's not a huge amount of money. It does, like, the DVD and the everything advertises that it's from the same producer as The Terminator and Aliens, and it is. Gail Ann Hurd produced this movie. And she's actually a pretty well-known producer. She produced The Abyss, Tremors, Terminator 2, No Escape, Raising Cain, Ghost in the Darkness, The Relic, Dante's Peak, and Armageddon, Virus, Ang Lee's Hulk, the third Terminator movie, The Punisher with Tom Jane, and Aeon Flux. A lot of movies, a lot of other stuff. Also, The Walking Dead TV show. So, like, she's produced a lot of well-known movies. Interestingly, when she was married to James Cameron for a period of time, when she was married to James Cameron, she produced pretty much all of James Cameron's movies. When she was married to Brian De Palma, she produced a Brian De Palma movie, and at this point, with this information, it's no surprise that she is married to the director of this film, Jonathan Hensley, and he's actually he directed the Thomas Jane Punisher movie. Which
one was that?
The one based in Florida.
Okay,
with John
so
Travolta.
the really, like, fast-paced one. No,
the one that was more meticulous, where the Punisher basically just sets the dude up to, like, dismantle and kill everyone he cares about. Or it's actually pretty fucking good. So this is the same director as the Thomas Jane Punisher movie, which I thought was interesting. And it's like, okay, so this was clearly some degree of passion project. Because I believe he wrote this one and produced it as well. Or not produced it, but he wrote it and directed it. So it's like, okay, so there was some care that went into this movie, and then it kind of just devolved into stereotypical found footage horror movie, low budget horror movie nonsense. Yeah, let's see. What else he did? He was predominantly a writer. Like this dude's resume, like as a writer, is pretty extensive too. Like he worked on Die Hard with a Vengeance,
Oh damn.
Jumanji, Armageddon. He helped rewrite Gone in 60 Seconds and Con Air. He almost directed the first Hulk movie that went to Ang Lee. So yeah, like he's got a really good. It's weird that they just like. From what I could tell, the only thing they were trying to like sell this movie on prestige-wise was Gale Ann Hurd as the producer of Terminator and Aliens. When like they could be like, oh, from the writer of Con Air and shit like that. Like I don't know. But yeah, the movie itself, like it was basically for me, it was just like a standard through the motion thing, and it never really paid off.
No.
Like even when it did pay off, like it happened so like after spending like a half hour dealing with these characters being increasingly annoying and just wanting to see them die, then they finally do die, and it happens so fast and so just unsatisfyingly that it's like, is that all? With the exception of perhaps the reveal of what happened to Bijou.
Yeah.
With the pole running through her head and her body just hanging there, like that was really cool.
So that's the best she's ever looked.
Right?
That was really cool. And again, evocative of Cannibal Holocaust, where there's a very similar scene, only in that case the pole went from crotch up to mouth and the girl was impaled. But it was a cool variation on that, where it was like, okay, I see where the ideas of the inspiration came from, and you put a unique twist on it, which is very cool. And that fucking body, like, that was a fake corpse. I thought it was really her hanging there, and they rigged something up like they did in Cannibal Holocaust, where, like, that was a real girl. And they basically, they created, like, you know, the bottom half of the stick, and then on the top of that there's like a bicycle seat that she sat on that kind of like was hidden by her crotchal region, so you couldn't really see she was sitting on something. It looked like the pole was going right into her. And then they made the tip out of like really, really lightweight wood. I can't remember what specific wood it was. And then she just held her head back and put it in her mouth and held it there to get that effect. I thought that's what they did in this at first, when you get the first glimpse of it. And I was really impressed, because it's like you can see like the feet dangling. It's like, okay, she's suspended, and there's a pole clearly, you know, running or appearing to run through her head. Like, oh man, like how the fuck did they figure that out? And then they get a little bit closer and you can see the gore and everything like that. And you can tell it's a fake corpse, but it's a really good looking fake corpse. Like, it looks real. Or maybe they just actually just shoved a bamboo stick through that woman's face. I don't
never know.
Maybe they got away with the murder that Ruggero Deodato was accused of but did not commit. Like, maybe, I'm not saying they did it, but like, if not, like, the special effects team, like, they did good work, which makes it sad that you don't really see that much of it. Like, when they come across the remains of, well, when they come across the remains of the other dude, like, you see like his arm chopped off. I think is that what he was missing? He was missing an arm.
Yeah, I think so.
Like, that looked pretty good. At the climax where the one dude gets decapitated and the other chick gets chopped in half, like, that looked pretty good, but like, it's all so brief. Like, you don't really get to.
I think that just has to do with it being so low budget.
Yeah, but at the same time, the effects were good, so they could have lingered on them a little bit more, I think, or like
could have done a little better.
Come up with a more clever way of displaying them, so it's not just like. And then we come across this scene, and the camera slowly pans across the remains, and that's it. I was a little confused throughout as to like who fucking owned this camera, because it got passed around between everyone,
and they just so conveniently had a second one.
Yeah, they had a second.
I was wondering. I was like, "What's going to happen?" I thought, "Oh, maybe they're going to find the first camera, like because the alcoholics got killed."
Right.
And I thought they would maybe find it and be like, "Oh, it's their stuff," and then pick up from there. But no, it's just like she's like, "Oh, I'm glad they didn't find the second one I packed." I'm like, how convenient.
Yeah, which draws back to like the very beginning of the movie when the found footage portion starts, and it's like tape 1, and I'm like, okay, but like tape 1 is like the bulk of the movie, so it's like why? Like, because they easily could have done that. They could have been like, oh shit, we found the camera. Oh fuck, what's going on now? Like that would have been fine. We didn't need to see. Honestly, it would have helped the movie because then we wouldn't have to see them being like, oh, thank fuck they didn't find the second camera. Well, fuck those assholes. We're gonna go after them because they took all our food. I'm gonna make a raft. 30 seconds later, fully professionally constructed raft, ready to ride down the river.
Man.
They both made rafts out of nothing. Yeah.
There's not even an area where there would be bamboo. That's the problem.
It doesn't, like, I was just like, I could see them stealing, because they established that the tribes had rafts. They could have just stolen a raft from the tribe. Like, that would have been fine and would have played into them fucking with the tribe, albeit maybe unintentionally so, to incur wrath. Like, that would have been totally fine. But it's like, oh yeah, no, I was in the Boy Scouts, so I can just magic a raft out of my asshole in like 5 minutes. It's like not even hard. Like, so that was
it takes like 2 to 3 people to build a raft.
Yeah, like every stranded on a desert island story that I've ever seen is like you want to build the raft to get off the fucking desert island, but like that shit's hard. Like, there's a reason why there were like 8 seasons of Lost, and it was because the studio wanted more money, so they made them make more episodes. But also because it was really hard to make a fucking raft. Like, that was the other reason. But yeah, so like that's a disconnect. Also, when they were like the cart, like we talked about this a little, or I talked about it a little bit. In Alien Abduction, like the continuity errors in found footage and like how important that is to maintain the immersion of a found footage movie, and like when you fuck that up, it really hurts the movie. Like the whole scene where they're talking themselves into going on this trip, and the camera is like there's multiple cuts of each camera facing it's filmed like a regular movie with like a 2-shot of like 2 characters having a conversation, and it cuts back and forth between them. And it's like, this doesn't make any logical sense given that it's a singular camera and these 2 people are in the same room and they're not moving the camera, and I don't know. Like that one really, and the one fucking dickhead just repeating what the other guy said immediately after he says it. I'm like, what are we getting at? Like, you've sold me on the premise, you did your research, it's a cool concept, just go.
I'll tell you what the high point of the movie though was that Australian guy that they found.
Oh yeah, he was great. I liked him.
He's like, don't you fucking go up there, they'll eat you.
Yeah, he was so good. I want a movie about him. I'd rather have him in the movie.
I wrote the quote down. If they fucking catch you, they'll kill you.
He was great. I wanted the whole movie to be about him.
No.
With the cannibal people? Like,
No.
who was the guy who came up with the cannibal people?
That was the movie's bullshit, like, slip it in through the back door attempt at a clever twist. I believe that was meant to be the actual Michael Rockefeller. Turns out he didn't die and he was living with the cannibals the whole time. There's his old wrinkly white ass walking by in the final shot of the movie.
But I was like, that seems kind of stupid.
It's very stupid. Like, it could have been cool if they had done anything more with it other than just, like, have a random old wrinkly white guy walk by and show you his ass before cutting to credits.
They
like,
could have
if
his real lighter.
if they had if they had expanded like the whole climax scene of them being taken in by the tribe before they get killed and eaten, and like they realize that like Michael Rockefeller fucking shows up and is like, sup, and then there's like a weird fucked up dinner scene, and then they're ritualistically sacrificed and cooked and eaten, and you see Michael Rockefeller chowing down, like that would have been great. That would have been a great payoff to the factual like setup that they used to instigate the whole plot. That would have been amazing. Now I don't know if like the Rockefeller family might not take too kindly to that. they might hire a few lawyers to come after your ass for that shit. But that's probably why you shouldn't base your cannibal exploitation found footage movie on like real fucking people. Like maybe you should consider that before you commit to that one. Oh yeah, the moment where they're talking about it and the one fucking guy mentions, yeah, they're making a movie about him in Hollywood right now. It's a meta joke. We have a meta joke, everyone. Yeah, he's talking about the movie we're currently watching.
I really liked it because it was so fucking cheesy. Like this is one
honestly
of my favorite
a second watch through, knowing just how ridiculous it is. But even then, like, there's so much time spent just like, we're drunk. Stop being drunk. No, fuck you. We like drinking. Fuck you. Stop drinking.
Yep.
Like,
During all that, I was like, okay, these two are gonna fucking die, and I'm gonna be so happy when it happens. And they were, and I think the fact that like it didn't actually harp on it, they were just fucking dead, made me laugh harder. I was like, you didn't even get your spotlight. You just fucking died.
Well, I didn't want them to like spotlight, you know, like, oh, maybe they'll make it. Like, no, fuck that. But I wanted to see them suffer and die painfully. I wanted to see the cannibals rip all of Bijou's clothes off and then jam a fucking pole through her mouth and string her up. Like, I wanted to see that shit.
They focused
I wanted to see them hacking the dude's fucking arms off and eating them.
The brunette was the only one that I actually liked, like out of everybody in the whole thing. She
seemed fine, yeah.
And so when they threw the attention, like they focused on her horror instead of Bijou's, because Bijou was like a gnat to me. And so when it was dead, it was just dead. But then her seeing everything that happened and everything the cannibals were doing freaked me out.
Mm-hmm.
It was more of, I got to appreciate the cannibals more with the calm, uptight couple than I did the loud and annoying couple where I was just like, oh my god.
Oh yeah.
Punch him, throw him off the raft.
Which is frustrating because that segment is so short. Like the whole climax segment is just like, let's hurry up and get to the end. And it's like, if they had dragged that out a little bit, like maybe not done the Michael Rockefeller reveal thing and had him be an actual character, because again, like lawyers and whatnot, I get that, but like just extend the being with the cannibal tribe and then having it slowly turn to like, oh yeah, we're preparing you to like actually chop you into pieces and cook you. Like that would have been really cool and really fucked up. But no, it's just like, oh, well, I guess they seem friendly. Oh, look, food. It's totally not the butchered people, remains of our friends and the weird swinger missionaries we came across. No. Probably not. Oh, it tastes so good. You're eating people, you dumb shits. Oh, they want to do a weird tribal dance and give us necklaces. This is probably cool. Honey, get the camera. Ah, shit, I'm dead. Like,
yeah,
that's all we got. Also, yeah, those fucking random ass missionaries they ran into, like 100% swingers. I'm pretty sure, because the way that lady fucking responds to him, the one douchebag guy asking if she was hitting on him, and she said, "Not today." What? What the fuck are you talking about? You
maybe
weird,
at a different time.
You weird lady. Yeah, maybe tomorrow. I'll be hitting on you.
But they're just like, you want to come back to our camp? And they're just like, no, we're going to go get trashed elsewhere.
No. Let's see. Oh, we did have the title drop of Bijou saying "Welcome to the Jungle," so I hope everyone took a shot when that happened.
Yeah.
And yeah, that pretty much sums up the whole movie. I'm pretty sure I shouldn't be doing this, but I'm gonna do it anyway because fuck it. That's the whole movie.
I liked when they got shot at by those thieves on the road.
Oh yeah, that weird, crazy scene where it's like, oh hey,
Something that happens.
Yeah, for sure. But like they get like they go to the lengths of like setting it up with like, oh, we have this advisory that says we shouldn't, like, this is a problem, and like if we see this, we shouldn't like stop or do anything. And then they encounter it, and then half of them are like, let's stop. And it's like, are you fucking stoned?
Yeah, they're like,
got an advisory about
a baby
this
with her, and it's
thing.
like,
this very thing was the thing they were telling us about in the advisory. No, but like maybe these kids are like different. These kids in the middle of the road, in the middle of nowhere. Yeah, we should help these kids. And then it immediately goes wrong because of course it does. But yeah,
I did kind of like the little van they were driving around in too.
The van was cool. Yeah,
charming in its own little shitty way.
The van did nothing wrong.
No, it didn't deserve to get shot. Only they did.
I do question how much fucking alcohol they dragged into that jungle.
Yeah, cause and doing all that drinking and hiking like that, like, are you kidding me? The two of them would have had heat stroke or something. Cause good lord,
yeah,
you're dehydrated as hell.
And like, you wouldn't think that like when they were planning this expedition and like gathering supplies to go out into the wilderness and like basically camp and poke around, that they wouldn't have taken notice of like, hey, you got about like 15 bottles of Everclear you're bringing. Is that really smart? Like, maybe don't.
Maybe swap some of that out for fresh water.
Yeah.
So Bijou doesn't drink the fucking unfiltered river water. I thought that was going to be a plot point, was her shitting her brains out, because there was a scene where she's like, oh, this is probably safe.
No. We gotta wait for a maestro filmmaker like Eli Roth to give us that kind of payoff.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, how the fuck did they bring... How much alcohol... Because you never really see the alcohol. Like, let me see.
You hear them clinking around.
Yeah, like, that's... oh, no, never mind. This movie did have a high alcohol count of 8. But even so, like, I feel like that was towards the beginning of the movie. Most of the time, they were just already drunk. And it's like, how much booze do you have? Let me see, because I just kind of randomly tangented all over everything. In retrospect, this whole trip probably wasn't a very smart idea.
No.
Oh, I did make the comment, I think you might be eating Bijou's loins, but she was obsessed with how tasty her loins were.
Yeah.
And that never really got paid off, and I'm mad at the movie for not paying that off. It's like, oh... Like, that was the best setup for, like, oh shit, now they really are eating my loins, and it sucks.
I liked, on both counts, when each group was floating down there at the raft, and the cannibals are kind of, like, slowly going along the riverbank there, and they just keep going, if they were aggressive, they would have fired already.
Yeah, no,
it's like, you keep saying that, but they're going, they'll fucking kill you. Like,
yeah. Do you not remember, like, the one, like, charming character in the movie telling you that they were gonna kill you? Like, because they gonna. That's happening. But, yeah, so overall, it was a blind cannibal movie watch. Like, I'm not bummed that I've seen it and I now own it. But at the same time, yeah, it's about what I expected. This is why I bragged upon picking this movie, that I'm like, oh, I'm totally winning this month. I'm good. This is the month. This is the month I win. fucking hard. Fuck. Why can't I remember the comedian guy everybody hates, but then Uncut Gems.
Adam Sandler.
Adam Sandler, thank you. Yeah, a strong Adam Sandler energy. This is how I win. Anyway, I ranted about that movie a long time. What did you guys think?
We covered all the things
We
I more or
did,
less thought about.
yeah,
Those people
yeah.
fucking sucked. I was happy
I
to see
think-
him get eaten.
I think Fish actually enjoyed this movie. So,
I
and I'm
did.
curious. Like, I want to hear Fish's perspective, and also
I
Neff's
did.
perspective.
I did. It was a lot of it was like junk food for movie. Like it
Yeah,
was like a
that's
reality
fair.
TV show that I kind of wanted to watch or got sucked into somehow and then couldn't. It was better than Tiger King, I'll put it that way.
No. At least Tiger King had more compelling douchebags. Where it's just like, I fucking hate all of you, but I really want to see what you say next.
I mean,
These people,
again,
I'm like, just be
for
dead.
you,
Just be dead
but I
forever.
liked it.
Oh, fair
I
enough.
thought Tiger King was shit. But like there even Bijou, like even though I fucking hated her, I was highly entertained by her. I was like, she's a fucking brat. Look at her.
You know what the saddest thing ever about this movie is? Like, up until the point that it really started pushing, like, oh yeah, these people are unlikable douchebags, I made a fucking note that said, you know what? I actually don't hate all of these characters. They seem, reasonably likable, like, down-to-earth type characters. And I'm really glad that this movie isn't falling into the same pitfall of just, like, intentionally making them unlikable trash. And then 2 scenes later, the shift started happening, and I'm like, well, we had a good run, boys. Because I was like, Bijou, she's like kind of a wild party girl, but like she's all right. Like she's just like a fun party girl type of chick. And then it's like, oh no, she's just a full blown bitch of an alcoholic. And it's like, why are these people friends at all? But Fish was entertained. I can see being entertained by it. I was entertained when I saw the pole driven through her head. I was like, that's a cool.
Yeah, I like that.
That was a cool kill. Like that was very
entertained
cool.
by like she was just like off the wall. It was a caricature.
Yeah,
And
for sure.
that's what was fun about it to me. And then like I didn't the only one I can say I really actually disliked out of all 4 of the people there was Mikey, because
Was that
he
the
came
dude
in,
bro douchey guy who had the gun?
Mm-hmm.
yeah, because even Bijou was in the beginning. She was like, well, why did
Yeah.
you invite me here if there's going to be a boyfriend? Like, I don't blame her for being like,
Oh,
well, I'm
yeah,
just
no.
like her character. Like, I completely expected her to go into, all right, well, I'm not actually wanted here, so I'll just start acting a fool. Because that
Yeah.
seemed like her defense mechanism to me. And I actually honestly like her. Like, I like to hate her. And then basically like when Mikey came into play, it was almost like he was such an asshole that he just was what she wanted for the millisecond, and then when it started going down, like, yeah, she was upset he got shot, but she was also like, oh fuck, I need to adult now. I need to seriously adult. And then it was just too fucking late. Like, the Cannibals scared the shit out of me. Like, every one of these tribal cannibal movies, like, scared the shit out of me, because they're native to that land. They know that land. You're an intruder on their land, and then they're gonna take you down, and it's gonna be bad. And either it was for a display and like food purposes, like you were just prey to them, but the way they were stalking, I think that's what freaked me out the most about them, is they were just stalking and following them along the bank, and they knew that river more than the 2 kids in the raft did.
This one definitely emphasized like that point of just like, they're there now. They've probably been there the whole time, but they just didn't reveal themselves. But suddenly they're there now. You see them. You can't do anything about it. And they know where you're going, and they're just going to wait.
And they kept popping up. Like,
Yeah.
you saw one, you focused on one, because it was like, here's the camera, and there's like, you see that, and you can't really focus anywhere, and then you see somebody move.
Yeah.
And then they're like, there's another one. And holy shit, there was another one right fucking there.
Mhm.
And then you just start seeing them all over, dotted all over the place. And I was just like,
It was
oh my
like-
God.
It was like inverted jump scares, where like the traditional jump scares, like something jumps out of you from out of frame, suddenly it's in your face. Whereas this, like, they're just there.
Yeah.
They're just there standing completely. It's like the Michael Myers thing. Where it's like, if you watch Halloween enough, you start noticing all the little places where Michael Myers is just standing and watching.
Exactly. And that's what freaked me out the most. So I liked it. I mean, like, I went into it
Well,
as soon
I'm glad somebody liked it since I did pick it.
She was like, give me the camera, and I was like, okay, I'm not as nuanced as like probably any of you are about found footage, because I'm one of the ones who like, found footage was never my jam until I started seeing found footage, like the ones you guys showed me. But like, I'm not as nuanced enough in it to. I'm happy in my naivety with it. Like, I'm like, all right, this is just a different way of filming.
Yeah.
where like stuff, like technical stuff with it wouldn't even bother me. I just go into it for entertainment. So I was just like, I knew what this was gonna be, and I was like, this is gonna be a drunken adventure, just like she said. Onto our drunken adventure. I was like, you're fucked. You're going to Papua New Guinea drunk in sneakers and shorts. Good luck not getting malaria.
Yeah.
Or dysentery. Or eaten
That
by
would have been the ultimate twist. Like the cannibals show up and they're just like kind of chill, and then they just like watch these people die of dysentery and shit themselves. And they're like, dump them in the river. Fuck it, send them back. This is bad meat.
And isn't it true that, like, because and I don't know a lot about it, I know Papua New Guinea is a bad place to be, but like, isn't it true that there's actual cannibals that like still exist down there?
I don't know if they still exist, but like, yeah, at least at the time of like the whole Michael Rockefeller incident, like, there were known cannibal tribes that existed in that area. I don't know if they're still there. I don't know what the situation is over there. But at the very least, the little bit of research I did into like the Michael Rockefeller side of things, because I was like, how accurate is this? Like, how is this true? Like, was there, like, I know the Rockefeller family, but like, was there a Rockefeller that went missing who might have gotten eaten by cannibals? Oh yeah, no, it's completely legitimate. At least theoretically, it's completely legitimate. And there's there's like some theories that are like, oh yeah, no, because he was stranded on a boat and he tried to swim to shore and then he was just never seen again. And it's quite possible he drowned trying to swim to shore because it was like 12 miles. But at the same time, there were like some people who went down there to investigate that like talked to these tribes, and they're like, yeah, no, they found him and they fucking ate him. According to them, they found him and they fucking ate him. So it's like, but there was no like remains that they could find or recover or anything like that. So it's still just like, nobody fucking knows.
They were so good at like the geography and the culture. Because like shit like that happens. That's how they traffic people down there and pull like boys into guerrilla armfare and women into their services.
Right.
And so like that's really fucked up.
What did Neff think?
I'm a whore for good found footage, to be honest.
Oh yeah, I love a good found footage.
Like I went into this, I didn't know it was found footage, but when it opened with it, I was like, found footage, and I'm like, oh. And then I remembered you had never seen it before, and I'm like, oh no. It was an emotional roller coaster. At first, I was enjoying it because it was kind of slice of lifey, and I'm always down for them comfy moments of slice of
Right.
life situations. And then I found out, oh yeah, I don't like most people. AKA, I really don't like any of these people. Like the brunette was fine. She was
Yeah, she was fine.
she was not like she wasn't nasty. She wasn't horribly uppity. She was a person, like not really
Yeah.
memorable to me. Everybody else, like, I don't know, they died. Like, who cares?
Nothing of value was lost.
Right?
That was literally in my notes. I was like, finally, people have died and nothing of value is lost.
Jorn, Bijou,
Bijou.
Bijou, isn't
Yeah,
that
you
a
guys-
type of dog?
It's the French word for kiss.
Yeah, you gotta say it with a French flair.
Bijou,
Bijou.
Bijou.
Bijou. She fucking like I wanted to put that pole through her head myself. And it was very fitting. That was a really cool point where like I saw that and like, but all throughout it, I was just like, same thing you said. I'm like, this is just Cannibal Holocaust wannabe. Like this ain't even on the same level. Even without the animal death part of Hannibal Holocaust. Cannibal Holocaust. Cannibal Holocaust.
Hannibal Holocaust.
Holocaust. Like it didn't. It was like, oh look at us, we're gonna talk about cannibals and we're gonna stick our toe in the water, and then oh no, we're not gonna let you see too much though. This was like an unexploitation film in my opinion, comparatively to other stuff that you've shown me.
Mm-hmm.
It was entertaining. I think I liked it a little bit more than Green Inferno.
Okay.
A little bit more. Like it's just a little bit, and that's mostly because there's a lot about Green Inferno that just infuriates me.
Oh.
Yeah. So and that sucks because it's so beautifully shot and the special effects are amazing.
Oh well, yeah,
right?
we'll get into
Yeah,
it.
we'll get into that.
That's coming
but
up
like
next.
surprisingly for this very, low budget in retrospect to Hollywood film, it the special effects were on point. I'll give it that.
The effect, when the effects happened, they were really good.
Yeah, and at the end, like when you see their severed torsos, yeah, they look
great.
fantastic.
Yeah.
But otherwise, it was a lot of me like especially for the first portion of the film. I'm like, wait, what was? I thought there was cannibalism. What happened? Where am I? Did I get off at the wrong bus stop? I think I did.
Why did this turn into an episode of Intervention? What the fuck is happening? Where are the cannibals?
Good lord, I'm sorry. They live in an area where there isn't really that much bamboo. Like, if there is bamboo, it's not to the degree that they can fucking build a raft out of. Like,
I don't know if that was that made out of bamboo or?
Yeah, Papua New Guinea has a lot of bamboo.
Does it?
Yeah. It's near, and they were right when they said the Indonesians had the border, and that part of it is especially woody with bamboo.
Huh.
Yeah.
Well then, I apparently don't know where Papua New Guinea is. Yep, I don't know where Papua New Guinea is.
Or not South America, but area.
That's why I don't know where it is.
Oh, is it in South? Oh, I guess so.
Yeah.
I thought it was more like shit. Now I need to. I did all the research on fucking Michael Rockefeller. I never even looked up where Papua New Guinea was.
Oh no, it's in.
I thought it was near Australia.
Oh, okay.
Near Australia.
Yeah. It's right north of Australia. Yeah. That makes sense.
Because they
That's
went
where I
from
thought
Fiji
it
over
was.
up to Papua New Guinea, which makes sense because they were all Australian except for the American.
Yeah.
I like the sticker.
Oh, New Zealand's down to the bottom of. Never mind.
Yeah.
But they're just a boat ride away from some cannibals. Potentially.
It does make sense for them to have because they're Thailand, then Malaysia, Singapore, Indonesia, and then Indonesia has control of the left side near Arafura Sea.
Yeah, because there's West Papua and then there's Papua New Guinea.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so geography lesson with
Whoops.
fish. But it wasn't great, but it wasn't also the worst thing I've ever seen. Again, I put everything on a scale of Shin Godzilla being at the top to Magic Mike being at the bottom. So
it's just because you've never sat through the entirety of Diary of a Cannibal.
I don't know if I want to. I've
fair.
got other shit to do with my time. But yeah, no, I mean, it wasn't horrible, but it wasn't great. I'll probably forget about it in like a week.
Yeah. It's definitely, like, aside from the one, like, the Bijou kill thing, like, that'll probably stick with me. Because it is very unique and it was very well done. But aside from that, like, everything else about the movie, probably gonna just recede and get layered on by other better stuff. But, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Is that everybody's thoughts on Welcome to the Jungle?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, those are my thoughts. Kettle, you good?
Yeah, or I guess we're doing like saying if it won any categories for you.
Oh yeah, you can do categories. Yeah.
So I guess I'll say for me it didn't win anything. So.
Same. Yeah.
It won favorite kill for me. Just simply because like the pull through the mouth was like awesome.
It was in the list of contenders for like favorite kill for sure.
And it actually like because the rest of them really don't bother me. I guess it won scariest movie for me because it actually like not necessarily the movie itself, but the concept of going out with like people that don't know what the fuck they're doing, and I get 8 because of it. Like
Yeah, I can see that.
That's terrifying because, like, the rest of them, I'm not going to jump on a fucking plane to go save a rainforest with somebody I've known for a day. Like, it's just not going to happen. So, like, and Raw, like, I'm not French. We're fine. So,
and
yeah,
we don't live in old Western times, so Bone Tomahawk is right out.
Exactly. Like, as much as I would love to have Kurt Russell as my sheriff, right? But no, like all the rest of them aren't super relatable. Whereas like Welcome to the Jungle is the most, in my opinion, realistic out of all of them.
Okay.
So it's a little bit more terrifying.
I can see that. Fish, what kind of categories did you?
Most entertaining because I was very entertained by this fucking movie. I was giggling the whole way through it. I was like, you're gonna die. It's gonna be great. And in fact, favorite kill, Bijou. And again, I love her because she's such a wild child and she's so like an annoying little fucking sister. I'd want to smash a hole through her face too.
Right?
And then it also won sleeper hit for me because I honestly, again, found footage is not my.
I mean, this is probably the sleepiest of all 4 movies this month, so it probably had the strongest contender of being that.
Well, yeah, and like it's not like found footage. Unlike you guys, this is not my go-to. Like I like horror movies with it in there as when they're done very fucking well, like Troll Hunt. Was it Troll?
Oh, Troll Hunter. Yeah, Troll Hunter is great.
That was very good. And I really love that. And then I like, I can't remember what else you showed me that's found footage, but I liked it.
Frankenstein's Army.
That's right. Yes.
Bad Ben.
Bad Ben too.
Bad Ben was very good.
But also it was really bad too. So like,
but it was good in a bad way.
So I didn't expect it to be like one of my favorites, but that's also what I ranked. So
Alright, so I think we're good to go into Green Inferno, which was Kettle's pick.
Mm-hmm.
What you gotta say for yourself, Kettle?
Well, first of all, it was a random pick
Oh, okay.
because I didn't have any cannibal movies in mind. I'm not a
you
movie
take no
database.
responsibility.
No, well, then I was like, oh, Eli Roth, it'll be fucked up, and I was right. So I liked
Yeah.
that part of it. But yeah, well, I kind of mentioned earlier, the idea of like going and trying to do activism thing with a guy you just met, and it's like, this is all very sketchy. Also, you don't look like a student, Alejandro. You look like you're in your 30s.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, he has such a stick up his ass. Like, oh, if you don't really care, then like, don't you even come here? It's like, dude, you really want to get help? Like, that's not how you do it.
No. That's how you
Uh,
get disinvited to like every Christmas party. Like, oh,
Pretty
don't
much.
invite him. That guy's a dick. He
No.
gets one shot of fucking vodka in him, and he just like fucking does not stop pretentious talking into your ear and telling
Right.
you what a horrible human being you are. Fuck that
Right. Oh yeah. But it was entertaining in like the gross and all the killing and everything, and it kind of, I don't know, I wouldn't say surprised me, but it was just like when everything went smoothly with the whole protest thing and all of that, and they're on the plane back, I'm like, that was way too easy. Like, what's gonna happen? And then all of a sudden the plane phone I'm like, all right, there we go.
There it is.
And then, yeah, man, and so you see those fucking plane seats just fly out the back, and I'm like, oh my god.
Oh no.
So yeah, that shit was stressful.
Do you not like flying? Do you have like a fear of flying?
No, I do not have a fear of flying. I dislike flying because I'm a large man and planes are like sardine cans.
Oh yeah,
that's my gripe with flying.
Yeah.
But no, I don't generally have a fear of it. It's more of the other stuff. But yeah,
Still seeing that. Seeing that is like, maybe I have a little fear of flying.
No,
I'd rather
not
not have that
particularly.
happen.
No, because I would never get on a prop plane like that with some like drug lord's fucking prop plane. Like, you kidding me?
But that's how you get to the drugs.
He can bring the drugs to me like he did to the stoner guy, because he's just like, hey, can I get a little?
Fair.
And he's like, yeah, I got you.
It's on me, yeah.
Yeah.
You know who that fucking kid was?
Who?
Did he look familiar at all?
Yep.
Slightly.
That was Junie from the Spy Kids films. The little kid, the little boy kid from the Spy Kids movies. That was him. We saw approximately like maybe half of his dick in this movie. We've seen part of Junie's dick.
Oh, no.
I don't know how I feel about
things
that.
up like that, man.
I don't know how I feel about that.
But yeah, this one really came in with the brutal stuff. Because after I will say, after they crashed, and then that one dude just walks into the fucking swinging propeller, it's like, that's a Darwin Award for you right there, sir.
Whoops.
I knew it was gonna happen. I was sitting there going, they're so close to the propeller, get away from the propeller.
Right.
It's like it's moving slow, but it's not. Don't clunk.
And then I felt bad for the big guy once they all got captured, because it's all like, oh, it kind of like in Welcome to the Jungle, like, oh, a ceremony for me? Like, well, technically, yeah.
Maybe they're gonna bandage me and give me the good tribal drugs. No,
Right,
no,
I have written down here,
no.
they're laying you down on a big rock that you probably shouldn't be thanking them. Nothing good comes from being laid down by a large group onto a big rock. Like, nothing.
No.
And then the other thing that was really fucking brutal, that again, it's very Eli Roth and it makes sense, but like, the vegan girl that freaked out after she discovered she had human, just broke the fucking bowl and just cut her neck, and I was like,
not just human,
shit!
but like her girlfriend. Yeah, her girlfriend.
I was like, oh, she's gone.
Yeah. Yeah, and then let's see. Oh, there was Alejandro jerking off in the cage. You know, sometimes you just gotta release, as he's saying. He's like, okay, he's gonna do that while
That's one of those, like, that was one of those things where I'm like, okay, I get exactly what you, like, I completely understand your methodology here, like, it makes perfect sense, but, like, this still makes me hate you even more. Like, seriously, you can't wait 5 minutes after the girl slit her own throat to do this? Like, you're just doing this now. Okay.
yeah.
Even as the other guy starts strangling him, he's still jerking it.
I mean, some people like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that it was probably it's I'd say for me it probably ties in brutality with Bone Tomahawk. Like, I think it had more brutal kills, but yeah,
they were kind of stacked up, like a lot of the brutality in Green Inferno, like it happens like when the plane gets completely smashed and crashes, and like immediately following that. After that, like the brutality is kind of spread out, and isn't really shown as clearly. Like the girl with the tattoos, like we see the aftermath of what happens to her, but we don't see anything actually happen to her. The girl, slitting her own throat, that's sudden and shocking and brutal. And then the guy with the CGI ants on him, which
that was kind of funny. It was like those are very clearly
like the minute you introduce CGI ants that are clearly CGI, I'm just like, all right. This can't be brutal. They're CGI fucking ants. Like you've lost me.
I like how they tied everything in and wrapped it up with a bow, though, because like her whole reason for going down being the female mutilation, like she had a purpose. Like that was eventually
they set up
goal.
They set up the female mutilation at the start of it, and then suddenly she's in danger of it happening to her. Yeah.
But right after, like, if you notice when the teacher is lecturing or the professor is lecturing, she's like, she talks about the mutilation, and then the next slide is, all right, and now on to the ants. And then
the ants got teased too. Yeah. Yeah.
Like
they definitely teased some stuff and then paid it off pretty well. Yeah. Did you have more, Ken?
That was most of the things. I can go ahead and say at least what categories I gave these. So, for me, it was favorite poster, because that man staring at me is spooky.
It's a cool poster.
For me, it was the scariest movie, just because of like mainly because of the way the big guy died. I could see myself in his position, and I don't want my eyeballs to be scooped out.
Oh,
so that was very shocking. So to me, it is the most scary, and in the same vein, most disturbing, because it had the most things that made me just like, ugh. And then also most entertaining, because it seemed to be the most kind of actiony, like with the plane crash and all of that kind of stuff. So yeah, it got a handful of things from me, but yeah, that's more or less my thoughts on it. It's kind of a fun. It's my version of like a junk food trash movie. Like it's nothing to write home about, but it's got some like oh shit moments that are definitely going to stick with me.
Oh yeah.
So that's me.
Well, let's see. This is the second time I saw it and the second time Neff watched it, because we had seen it once before a few years ago.
Yeah. I can't remember exactly when, but we watched it. I think it was one of the ones we watched for November, actually.
It was, yeah. I do know, like, a little background on it, like Green Inferno, on top of being Eli Roth's love letter to cannibal exploitation movies, it became like his response to, at the time, like the growing SJW movement on Twitter, and him being like, these people are morons, and if they actually went down into the jungle, they'd just get eaten.
Oh my God.
So yeah, he had to go and make it fucking political, which lent the response to this movie, like, it soured the response to this movie. This movie also got, like, shelved for, like, 2 or 3 years before it actually got released. Just because, like, the studio just, I guess, didn't want to release it for whatever reason. Although, unlike, House of a Thousand Corpses, which also got shelved for a bunch of years, and Universal didn't want it, just, like, flat out refused to release it. So Lionsgate eventually had to. This movie was still released by Universal. Like, Universal did the same thing with this movie, only finally they were like, fuck it, throw it out there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, again, kind of like Welcome to the Jungle. We flew all the way down to Peru to do this dangerous thing, but we didn't expect it to be actually dangerous, you fucking idiots.
Yeah, this was supposed to be for the gram, man.
Yeah. So you dummies didn't use the bathroom before we came to Peru? What the fuck? Like, you go before you go to Peru. Like, you use the bathroom, then you go to Peru. Then you just
and then you hold it.
Yeah, you hold it. Yeah, the whole time. Yeah, the whole, again, like, I felt the same way when they do the protest thing and everything goes crazy, but, like, it suddenly is like, oh yeah, we did it, guys. We did it. Because
what really sketched me out at first was when they gave away their passports. I was like, no.
Yeah, right? And that doesn't really pay off for any extent whatsoever, but, like, yeah, when that happens, it's like, oh, they are fucked.
Yeah.
Like, they are not going to be able to get out of this fucking country. But yeah, just the whole, like, that was too easy. Like, yeah, it was just like, yeah, no, you totally made some, oh, Jesus, I'm sorry. You totally made some change, and they're absolutely not going to immediately start bulldozing the forest again 5 minutes after you leave. Yeah, that's totally not a thing that's gonna happen. Turns out, no, they were successful, but another competing
company for a different reason
was going to just pick up where they left off. So they were successful, asterisk, which I think mostly was just there to, one, give the hope that they might get rescued by somebody, like somebody would be coming, and then also to just make Alejandro that much more of an asshole, where he's like, oh yeah, no, like, this was a setup from the start, it was just a promotional stunt. It's like, well, obviously, but also, like, fuck you. Yeah, because Alejandro isn't a big enough asshole already, he just decides to casually jerk off in front of everyone.
He doesn't even look like he's enjoying it.
No, he's just going through the motion, joylessly jerking off. We watched me and Neff watched Knives Out right before earlier today, which is a great fucking movie, by the way.
It's really good.
It's so good. But one of the lines in there was joylessly jerking off to a dead deer, and yeah, that's basically what Alejandro was doing. Only it wasn't a deer; it was one of the people he came down to Peru with. Better, worse? I don't know. He's still a dick. But yeah, I think, like, because yeah, once the plane goes down and there's, like, that intense, like, from the plane going down to the bigger guy getting, like, completely fucking brutally butchered and devoured, like, that's what I was expecting from this movie, and it paid it off. And then there was that long period where it didn't really, which was a little it's like, come on, man, it's Eli Roth. He's the master of, like, yeah, I'm shocking and edgy. And he can be. Like, the Hostel flicks were that, for sure. Cabin Fever was that. This one felt, especially considering it's an homage to cannibal exploitation movies. Like, it got there, and then it just kind of left it, like, for the rest of the movie. It was like kind of the inverse of the issues I had with Welcome to the Jungle, which is it took so fucking long to get to the cannibals, and then the cannibal segment is like 10 minutes. It doesn't take that long to get to the cannibals. Like, there's a little bit of setup and character development and plot development, and then, bam, cannibals. You're fucked. And then there's a long segment where it's like, yeah, nothing much is happening. It's very slow. And even when there are moments of potential brutality, a lot of it is cut away from or layered with CGI insects. Because even like the chick with the tattoos, like that could have been, at least in my opinion, a much better payoff if they had like let it linger, let that moment linger for a moment, to where they're like, we don't know where she is. Like maybe she got out, maybe she didn't. And then the reveal, like maybe she's coming, and then the reveal comes of like, I'm eating out of a bowl made of her skin. Oh fuck. But it all happens. It's like she runs to the boat, it cuts to black, and then basically the next scene it's revealed. Oh yeah, no, they caught her, they carved her up, they skinned her, they're all wearing her skin, which that's a fucked up scene for sure. Like them peeling the tattoos across their skin and everything, like that's really fucked up. But letting that moment linger and letting the audience wonder, like, did she make it? Did she not make it? Like, we don't know. Oh shit, tension, and then boom, nope, she didn't. Let's see. Oh, the whole segment with tainting the corpse with the bag of weed, that was pretty good. I still really like that. Especially with
even though it's one of
the
those like that's not
payoff.
really how that works,
right? It's like I don't think this that quantity of weed and the way you did that, like that's probably not how that's gonna work.
Bud is not gonna do much.
No.
But they cooked her so like the smoke coming off of it, like they could have gotten a contact buzz, maybe to that extent. But it did inevitably pay off with Cannibals got the munchies, which is great.
Which is the only way that Junie could die.
Yeah. Oh no, they got the munchies, man.
Bunch of lightweights.
The setup was so funny when he gives him the weed in the first place. He's like, "Yo, that's Peru weed. You better be careful with it because it's strong as fuck." And then these people who have never had weed before, like as soon as they stuff it in their body, I'm like, they're gonna smoke her. And it's gonna get everywhere. They're all gonna get high. It's gonna be funny as hell.
Yep. And that was like
the one that falls out of the tree.
Oh, it just drops. That's kind of where I am with this movie. Like, there's a lot in it that I'm like, I fucking love that. That was perfect. And then there's other parts of it where I'm like, come on, man. Like this, you could have done so much more. But like, so I keep going back and forth on it, like. Because if I really think about it, I'm like, there's a lot in here I actually really enjoyed, at least from like an entertainment aspect. I do. Okay, so Nev, you are the only person here who's seen it previous. So did you have? Was it just me? Like I had a vague recollection that one of the people was killed via being like inflated with one of those like billow things, like they just expanded until they burst, and that doesn't happen. Like,
I don't recall that at all.
Okay, I don't know what I'm thinking of that, because I thought it was gonna be like people kept dying, and I'm like, oh, so it's got to be like this one last guy who almost escapes with the main chick, and then like no, he gets eaten by the ants. I'm like, oh right, he did get eaten by the ants, and then it just never happens, and I'm like, I guess that was just a fake memory I made up about the Green Inferno.
Apparently. No, I don't even recall anticipating that.
Okay. So yeah, that was just a fraudulent... Maybe that was another movie? Like, I don't know. So yeah. I mean, I did say I would definitely commit to a 90-minute movie of the main chick dressed and painted how she was towards the end. Because that was an amazing costume design. Like, she looked
that was
gorgeous.
Cool.
Like, just like that chick as like a crazy tribal, like, huntress character, just running around the jungle, like, getting into weird mischief and adventures. Like, I would watch a 90-minute movie about that. And then we get to the end, and she gets rescued. And then she's being interviewed, and she just completely lies about what happened, which that confused me the first time, and it still confuses. Like, I don't know what her motive was behind that, other than to like make damn sure that Alejandro didn't get rescued and got fucking eaten, because fuck him. or because despite all the shit that she went through, she still wants to help save the tribe.
Yeah, I think she connected with the kid.
Yeah, it was because of the kid, which
fucking
to me
kid.
is kind of a bullshit reason.
Yeah, I could see them get again. Like it's kind of like with the whole tattooed chick thing. I could see them getting there, and I could see it being a satisfactory like kind of twist where she's like, "I'm gonna fuck all this. I'm gonna make going down there mean something." And just because they did the shit that they did to me and the people I was with, they still deserve to be left in peace. But like, it's an instant, like she's riding off on like the helicopter, and then it immediately cuts to the boardroom scene being like, "Oh yeah, no, they were totally peaceful. Like they were super chill. Like I would have died without them. Like they're upstanding chums. Like I'm gonna send them Christmas cards. They're great."
Man, if I was in that situation, I'd be like, "They're right fucking there. Bulldoze the fuck out of it."
Yeah, right. Like, I think that would have been more like the idealist, like the more like fucked up ending is this idealistic young woman going down there to try and make a difference, and then all this shit happens, and she's like, bulldoze them, fuck them.
Yeah,
like, it would have made more sense, because at that point, she got her hymen pierced by a weird finger claw and almost had her genitals mutilated and watched a bunch of people get hacked to pieces and cooked and eaten and ate some of them. Like,
yeah,
it's like, oh yeah, no, that would definitely sour you on the whole save the rainforest movement, I think, validly. Like,
man, I'd buy a warehouse full of paper as long as those trees came from there.
Whether or not it's like the right thing to do, it's like, I get it. You have your reasons and they're valid. And likewise, like they could have come up with valid reasons for why she lied about it too, but like we get nothing.
No, we do get nothing, and it's a matter of like, because I just like while you were talking about it, like why did she lie? And
you looked up theories.
Yeah, theories, and there's an interesting thing of like, you know, her big takeaway being that she was wrong to get involved in the first place, and that it's better to simply stay out of global affairs. A final point which squares pretty neatly with Roth's usual isolationist spin on extreme horror. So apparently Eli Roth is super isolationist. So in his way, I guess it's a way for them to just kind of stop the intermingling. I don't know. I didn't get that from the end, but that's like one of the more consistent things that are being brought up. And it's more of a mission. It's like missionaries and college students on, you know, going out being activists. They do more harm than good.
Mm-hmm.
So,
which is definitely one perspective, not without valid reasons. Because like even like missionaries that go down there essentially just to help and like, you know, spread knowledge and everything like that, like they are helping to some extent, but also at the cost of the purity of the tribe, because suddenly the tribe is like, oh, we're a Christian now and this and that, and we understand like concepts that were completely alien to us, like marketing and bartering and stuff like capitalism and shit like that. Like, this is how we work now because we want to be a part of the world, which if they do, that's great, but it is also kind of weirdly forced on them with good intentions. So it's a weird like I have no real answers or opinions on it aside from that. It's a weird, like the actual like realistic standpoint on it is very complicated, and there are valid points on both sides, and it's complex. And thankfully it's not a part of my life, so I don't have to form like solid opinions on it, but I can look at it and be like, yeah, that's a big bucket of mess. I don't know what's right and what's wrong. Like I do not know, because there are so many valid reasons on both sides of the spectrum.
Right.
But yeah, that happens, and then we get the mid credits tease for maybe a sequel where it gets revealed that Alejandro has a sister, and her sister has access to satellites, and using those satellites, she's found Alejandro is still alive and is maybe the tribe's new headhunter.
I definitely did not see that because as soon as the credits started rolling, I just like, all right, that was that.
Oh, there's a mid credits scene. Yeah.
Oh, great.
I don't blame you for not, even suspecting that one might exist, because like, why would one?
Yeah, why? Yeah.
In this movie, and yeah, I know it exists. I've seen it twice, and even I'm still left wondering why the fuck it's there. Like, again, kind of like the whole like ending of this movie. It's like, why are you the way you are? What is this? What's the point? Yeah, no, there's not a sequel. As far as I know, there's no plans to make a sequel, which isn't surprising considering the movie sat on shelves for 2 or 3 years and I don't think made a whole lot of money. So that's just there. I guess somebody's gonna have to. Maybe somebody did ask Eli Roth about it, but I haven't read that interview. I did like it more the second time through. The first time I was definitely a lot more disappointed. This time, like, I think I kind of had the same mentality as you did, Kettle, where I was just like, I'm just here to have a good time.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
And this is brutal and entertaining and goofy. Kind of like how Fish's response to Welcome to the Jungle was. Like, that was...
Yeah, it's my flavor of trash movie. I
Yeah,
saw
that was
it's like Eli
predominantly
Roth doing
my-
Cannibals. All right.
Yeah, that was predominantly my takeaway from it the second time through, where I was just like, yeah, it's dumb and it's got a bunch of flaws to it, but like like when it pays off well.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of entertaining, goofy shit in here. What did you think, Fish?
I love that.
Did you like all the movies this month?
Pretty much, yeah.
That's good. That's awesome.
I did. I loved it. It was first of all, when the opening credits were running, I saw Greg Nicotero's name in there.
Oh yeah.
And then when I forgot about it while I was watching the movie, but when she smashes that bowl and just cuts her throat,
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh, there's my Nicotero. There he is. He likes his gory shit like that.
I mean, that's like the basis of his entire company.
I would love it. Well, if you've ever side note or side tangent on Greg Nicotero, because I absolutely love his special effects.
Oh, it's great.
He's a lot of Walking Dead.
Yeah, it's
but
one of the big things that he's now known for. Yeah.
That's when I first I recognized him because he was on Talking Dead a lot, but then I realized he was in more shit that I have ever watched in my entire life. Like he's in almost everything.
Because like formerly before they split up, he was part of KNBFX, which was can't remember the K. It was the initials of their last name. So whoever K was, Nicotero and Berger. And they did a huge amount of work. They did From Dusk Till Dawn. I think they worked on Day of the Dead. At the very least, Greg Nicotero is in Day of the Dead, and I think helped on the effects. But yeah, they did a shit ton of movies together, and then they split up, and then predominantly Nicotero is the one that people know these days.
Yeah, his Instagram. His house, where he took pictures of the stuff he did with his house. He has some of his like busts and heads of like from different movies he's done on the spikes on the gate to his house.
Oh, nice.
I love it. So I absolutely love him, and a lot of the fun and the visual fun in it for me was Nicotero's work, and also it also banged my head against it when dude banged his head against the propeller. I was like, oh yeah, there's another one. But I liked it. It was cheesy. And then again, tribal. I maybe it's going to a place where I'm like, I know this shit has either existed or still exists, and I think it was Peru that I was thinking of that still has the cannibals. Like they have native tribes.
Oh yeah.
That aren't like until industrial shit comes through, aren't like they're just there and they do what they do, and some of what they do is shocking to and taboo to us. You know, like
but it's daily life for them.
It's daily life for them, and like I feel like invading on that, like these. I get the commentary on the SJWs because basically like you guys were all talking about, going down there does more harm than it does help, and like it's almost like, oh, here come the dumb Americans are gonna come down there and they're gonna take video and like treat them like they're in a zoo and shit like that. And that's what it feels like to me, is like that's their life.
Mm-hmm.
No wonder why they're gonna fucking eat you. I hope they do eat you. And with the main character, whose name I can't remember, like I bad with names.
I can't remember.
I mean, like the whole, they kind of revere her. Like like they eat some of the people,
right?
They just kill a lot of the males, and then they seemed like they were going to take her on as part of the tribe. Like she was going to be a new bloodline for them, or a new part of their bloodline.
Oh yeah, they were taking. Well, yeah, because they were like, oh shit, we got ourselves a virgin here. That means she's pure, and we can incorporate her into the tribe.
Exactly, and they gave her the rite of passage to her. They were going to.
Yeah.
And she connected to, and it's like, it was a weird shift. Like, so the ending to me where she's just like, oh, hey, yeah, I was kind of weirded by it too. But then I started thinking about this shift, like, okay, so I can see her maybe saying, well, I thought this one way and I was adamant that this was wrong, but now I've lived among them and seen the way they operate. I guess it's not so wrong, so maybe we should leave them the fuck alone, because we're not prepared for the kind of brutality that they live in their daily life.
Right.
And then I also like that last scene where she's escaping and she sees the jaguar. Oh yeah. I was just like, oh, that's so cool. Like I thought it was just one of the coolest shots. Like he was just such a beautiful cat.
And that's one of the things that I think Neff mentioned it as well, is like the movie is shot beautifully.
Mm-hmm.
Like the movie is like gorgeous to look at. And a lot of that is like the setting of the jungle and everything like that, but also the cinematography is just like it's beautiful.
To the point where I think I overlook a lot of its flaws, because I was like, oh, this is a pretty trip.
Yeah.
Like this is actually beautiful. And I also like this because I'm not religious. I'm more spiritual than anything, where like and nature's like druidistic than anything. So the idea of this spirited animal,
the panther spirit being like, sup.
Because they said like it would like it, and I'm pretty sure this is true, but they said it's like a symbol of nature, like it's a protector of nature, and everything like kind of like she was so natural that everything kind of and innocent. I guess that goes along with their whole virginity aspect too.
Right. Yeah.
She just like connected to everything so easily, like the innocence of a kid, or the primal okayness with the panther. Like it was beautiful, and I was like, all right, cool. And I really liked the dude that got eaten in the beginning, and I'm sad that he went off the bat. Like they would have made such a cute couple.
That's the ultimate awkward fucking, I have a crush on this girl, so I'm gonna be the most awkward motherfucker ever.
I heard about it, but he wasn't.
But it was in an endearing way, for sure.
Into her.
Yeah.
Oh, that was another thing. Alejandro was really fucking culty. Like.
Oh yeah, he was super culty.
And I was gonna say if it hadn't turned political, but no, that makes sense. That's kind of like what cults are. They do a lot of stuff through politics.
Mm-hmm.
and like the way he lured her in, like he set her up, like these people who actually do this know how to do this, and that's the exact way it gets done. And everybody's always like, oh, I would be smart enough not to do this and this. But when you're wanting something and then all of a sudden it's there, or you think it's there, and you just jump into it without knowing the big picture, like that shit just happens, and you don't realize it's happening until your hindsight.
Yeah.
And so when he didn't mention anything but how they were going to do things, and then presented it as like this big like trip almost for them, like it was almost like it is this easy. I was convinced along with them, and I was like, oh shit, I didn't think about all this and this. They're actually like in danger. Like,
Yeah.
you do one thing wrong and you're fucking dead. And the whole reason he brought her along, which kind of I forgot about when they mentioned it, is that her dad was an important person.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh shit, that was fucking fucked up. And they didn't, like, they sabotaged her chain on purpose. Just to get her.
And at first, like, because when it initially happens, you think it's just like Alejandro's jealous bitch of a girlfriend trying to fuck her over.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh no, Alejandro was totally in on this. This was the
her.
plan from the start. They're also, both assholes.
The girl committing suicide, that poor little fawn of a child. Like, I felt
wasn't bad enough she already had to shit her brains out in front of everyone.
But that whole scene reminded me of what's her face's scene in Devil's Advocate, which I really
Charlize Theron.
Yes, like when she's just like, I can't do this. I was like, oh shit, like that was gonna happen again. I've seen somebody do that, and it's gonna happen again. Oh no. And then it did. And again, the cannibals were fucking scary. Like the
cannibals were fucking cool looking as hell.
They were, and they were just so, because there was no connection except for the little flute with the little kid, but otherwise there was no connection in between.
Because it's just like, you don't speak their language, they don't speak yours. You're speaking nonsense to each other.
Yeah, and like even when they became a relatable connection, like them getting high, that only made them more dangerous. And I was like,
because munchies. You don't want to deal with a cannibal with munchies. Like, come on, man, they're not even gonna cook you. They're just be like, just eat it raw. Which seems to be predominantly what most of these cannibals do.
Exactly. And again, like the whole tribal thing, like I'm going to talk about this again when we get to Bo and Tomahawk, because that's what scares me about those cannibals too. It's just like, what did I do this for? I did favorite SFX because Nicotero.
Yeah.
Scariest movie to me, because even these guys were a little bit more scary, because I'm like, fucking tribes like this exist there. They do. I hear about it. And the favorite poster. But like, it was just something about them. They were so rudimentary yet effective.
Right.
That they actually stood up to people with guns.
Yeah.
Again, guerrilla warfare against the tribal, and the tribe was like pretty strong enough to fucking at least not go down without a huge fucking fight and doing some damage. Like, they were going swinging. But yeah, and they did some stalking too, showing up like there was a million of them all at once. I was like,
they're everywhere.
I'll be fine with the CGI ants, because these motherfuckers are showing up like in events. Jesus Christ. I was just trying to have a picnic.
What about you, Neff? What about the second time through?
It was stupid, the movie. And
more so than Welcome to the Jungle?
Yeah.
What?
It was only 4 people, and nobody was gonna see their shit. And these were people that were like going for activism. Like, they were spreading the stupid even further. Like, to the point where you see people with Alejandro's fucking face on a t-shirt
right.
with
that
more
is what you see at the
more
end.
people are gonna be stupid.
He's a fucking martyr now.
So, like, it just, like, first of all, beautifully shot. Beautifully shot. The special effects are amazing. The tribesmen are fucking phenomenal.
Mhm.
The woman with the dreads and the claw finger deflowerer, she was terrifying, but also beautiful. She was so
Yeah.
pretty.
She was gorgeous.
She was just so pretty. And but like, okay, so you're gonna go and make goo goo eyes at this dude that you know nothing about because what comes out of his mouth is pretty. First of all, that's cult right there. That's a number of things, as
Mhm.
Fish said, and then you're gonna go and join the activism club after he's an asshole because he dared you, basically.
Mhm.
Like, even your best friend was like, "Don't do it. Are you sure this is a good idea? Listen to your best friend when
Bitchy
your best
She was like the
stoner
friend
best
girl.
says."
character in the movie. I wish she was in more.
Right?
Yeah.
Right? She was amazing. Are you gonna eat that? Like, that is
She skirted the line between like, I fucking hate you, I wish you were going on the trip so you'd get eaten, and then also just being like, I fucking love you, you're the best character in this movie.
Right?
She kept skirting the line back and forth. I'm like, oh, fuck you. Please stick around.
Right? But like, her best friend was, yeah, one of the best characters. Well, I don't know. Jonah was really sweet. I can never look, like, I forgot that there was an eye gouging scene. I had to look away because like that is the one thing. It just squicks me the fuck out. Like, I hated it in Fulci, the Fulci
Oh,
flick.
zombie.
Yeah, and like anything else you've shown me that has like eye penetration, I'm just like, not my kink. Nope. Um
Oh, you just
so
wait until we do Fulci month.
oh, thank you. Um but it just the stupidity of it. Like, you wouldn't get onto a fucking train and go out of country last minute. Like, I mean, I guess some people do, but she seemed like she had a fairly good head on her shoulders just based on who she was. So like, she purely was doing it because he was like, you just don't take this seriously, and she had to prove how serious she was. Like, it just irritates the ever living shit out of me. Like, your flag should have been going up when he was able to get Junie the weed.
Well, at
Like,
that point, they were already there. It was a little too late.
they were already there, but then she could have been like, oh, that's weird. Dad, I made a mistake. I mean, her dad's in the fucking UN. He can get her out of there.
Yeah.
Like,
But
there
at
are
the
so
same
many
time, I can see it
moments.
being like, oh yeah, kid likes weed, whatever, man.
Also, Junie was so sweet. You remember, like, like, he was so sweet though, because like every time the cannibals would come into the cage, he'd protect Justine. Like, he'd throw
Yeah.
his body over hers, and I'm like,
Oh yeah, he did do that. I
know,
completely
was
missed
really
that.
sad about him because he was
Yeah,
him
he
and the
was-
guy with the beard, right? Like, because the
Yeah,
beard
the ant
protected
guy. Yeah.
brunette girl.
Yeah.
the
And
redhead.
Yeah, and Junie throwing himself away. I was like, oh my god. And then you have fucking Alejandro who's in the corner like the piece of
Jerking
shit
off.
with the piece of fucking dried jizz on the side of a dirty garbage can is what he was.
Ew.
Him.
Like, he is.
And then we don't even get the satisfaction of like seeing him killed. Like, no, he gets to
No.
live. Fuck you.
And we will never get a conclusion.
Yeah, I
to
didn't
that,
see
by the
that
way.
end credit scene. He's dead to me.
Oh, there you
Yeah.
go. They just stop as soon as the credits come up. Yeah, there you go. That'll work. Yeah. Although I still think, like, I think a cool ending would be like they go full tilt. Like, there is no rescue. Justine goes through the whole ceremony and then kind of just incorporates into, like, that's her, like, adjustment period of being like, I'm one of them now, and then it ends with her killing Alejandro and eating his heart.
That
There's
would
an
be
ending.
amazing. Yeah, that would actually be
Like,
pretty
she
amazing.
becomes like the junior headhunter for the tribe. Like, that would be awesome.
Or like the new finger penetrator lady.
Yeah.
Yeah. God, no, that it was not the most horrid thing I've seen. It's just there's so much stupid in it that I can't just sit back and enjoy it. Like, give me a
This is why
clip
you
of the
can't
good
watch.
moment.
This is why you can't watch most slasher movies too.
Oh
It's
my
the same.
god.
It's the same reaction here.
Oh
It's
my
like they're
god.
all
I
so
yell at
dumb.
the screen. Like they're so stupid. But yeah, so it didn't get any notices from me. Or notices, awards, categories,
Categories.
whatever. Like it would have gotten special effects, but like I don't know, the lower budget film kind of always wins my heart. I always kind of vote for the underdog. I can't help it.
No, I mean, looking at what you picked, I don't like. I honestly don't know what the budget discrepancy is between Green Inferno and the one
Yeah.
you
I
picked.
thought see Eli
I don't
Roth I
know.
thought would have been more. Yeah. I
I
figured it
didn't
was
look
in
up the
my mind
budgets
it
on
would have
them.
been more. Cuz I mean, it got picked up by a big movie studio and stuff like that. So
It's possible. I didn't look up the budgets on. I looked up the budget on Welcome to the Jungle just because I was curious, but I didn't do that for any of the other ones. I did get favorite special effects from me, Green Inferno, because like Nicotero is great, and when the effects, like CGI ants aside, when the effects do happen, like they're top notch, like they're really fucking good, and they're showed off really well too. But that was the only category it got from me. All right. Is there anything else anyone wants to say about Agree? Oh, I will say this. Pretty much every other cannibal movie this month, like it's hard to say with Welcome to the Jungle because like it was so poorly lit, you couldn't even really see what the fuck they were eating, and there wasn't really an emphasis on it. Shockingly little cannibalism in Welcome to the Jungle, considering it's a cannibal movie. But this is like one of the few cannibal flicks that I've seen that I can recall where there's actually attention paid to them not just cooking the people, but like prepping them, like rubbing the salt on the meat and putting it into the smoker and everything like that. Like it's the only cannibal movie I can think of aside from something like Hannibal, like the show Hannibal, where you do get kind of a good deal of food preparation, culinary arts shit in that. But as far as like tribal cannibal movies, where you actually see them treat it like food and not just be like, I'm eating an arm, you know?
Oh,
like full on
way,
raw. Yeah.
About 700 calories is how many calories are in a pound of human meat.
Oh, okay, there we go. There's that side tangent paid off.
Yeah.
Ah, we're calorie rich then. I guess. Oh wait, no, a pound.
No, we're not. We're not that calorie rich compared to like an overall human
the
being
cannibal
has
diet,
about 82,000 calories overall.
You want to lose weight, get on that cannibal diet.
A horse, for instance, like a beast that big, has like over 200,000 calories in it.
That makes sense because they're like way bigger.
Yeah, but we don't actually have that much.
But yeah, like this movie actually took the time to like show them prepping and cooking the meat and treating it like meat, which I thought was cool. And definitely helped in the I'd eat that category rankings for me.
I want the weed infused.
The
weed infused one.
The weed infused human meat. Yeah, that might be interesting. Okay, so we've reached the halfway point. Would you like to take a break?
Yes.
Yes, please.
Okay. Take a break. We'll be back in a few minutes. Hang out and enjoy, and we'll be back in a few minutes. Alright, I am back. Waiting for everybody else to see Neff's back. No, I suppose undeafen. No, hello.
Hi.
How's it going? How's it going?
It's going good. I'm excited to talk about Raw and Bota.
Bota. Botox?
Bone Tomahawk. So, because
Yeah.
those were the two that, like, Bone Tomahawk was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
I love Kurt Russell so much. He's so amazing. I want to hug him. Not right now, of course, but like, I want to hug him. He's just so, like,
Uncle Kurt Russell.
basically, like, he's so cool. He's just so, like, and that's the second film I've watched in such a short period of time that, like, he's been the sheriff.
Yeah.
So,
it's a role
just,
he's
like,
surprisingly quite fitting for.
Mhm.
We'll get into it in a minute. Sure.
Oh, yeah. Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Neffy wants to hug him.
I do want to hug Kurt Russell.
I'd give
I
Kurt
want to
Russell
do a
a
little
hug.
more to him.
I want to hug him.
I mean, he's a
I
good-looking
have an
guy.
old man thing. I mean, like, there's Anthony
He's
Hopkins.
been a good-looking man his whole, like, you know, there's some people it's like, you know, you were all right looking when you were younger, but like now that you're older, like you've got that refined, like, handsomeness to you. Like, Kurt Russell's looked good his whole fucking life, like, different but good. His whole fucking life.
Well, and and I can't remember his name off the top of my head now, but the guy from The Faculty that played the coach.
Robert Patrick.
Robert Patrick's another one of those. Like, I mean, like, yeah, I guess I didn't watch his movies where he was younger until
Terminator
I was
2?
older.
Oh, okay.
And then, like, yeah, but like not a lot of his movies like we are now, you know what I mean? Like, it's more frequent that I'll watch that now.
Well, yeah,
And so
we saw
now I'm
2
seeing
Robert Patrick movies in the same month because he's in Fire in the Sky and The Faculty. That was random.
And then, like, Anthony Hopkins was already old when I first started watching him. I just have a thing for old men. Like, the old, refined looking
Anthony Hopkins. I feel like
men.
Anthony Hopkins didn't really blow up until he was already pretty much old.
Yeah,
Because, like, the only thing I can think of that I've seen young Anthony Hopkins in was that movie Magic.
Right.
Which I think,
like
didn't you see that?
He did a lot of Shakespeare theater before.
That makes sense.
Before actually breaking into film, like, it was kind of a natural way to go for people of that time period into film. Or at least the more like those types of characters, you know what I mean? Who is another one? I can't remember his name, and I don't know what he's in. I can't reference him to, but he's like he's a Latin. He's either Mexican or he is a. I can't. But he's got dark hair, but his salt and pepper starts like right at his temples and goes straight back into like just salt and pepper, like it's like a stripe, and it goes straight back into salt and pepper hair. And I'm like, you're fucking gorgeous.
Without like.
I can't remember his name.
Latin guy with dark hair and salt and pepper, like that does it. Like, you gotta give me something he was in.
Listen.
Like, honestly, just something he was in, and I could probably get it.
And that's what I'm saying is, like, I'll come across something he's in, because you know me, I rewatch shit like all the time. So, like, I'll come into it and I'll let you know who it was, and we'll talk about it next time. But like, it's just that
Antonio
old distinguished gentleman. It's just hot. Kurt Russell's up there too now, and I'm like,
is it Antonio Banderas?
We
didn't start without you, Kettle. We're just like filling air.
Yeah, no, it's not. It's
We,
not
we
been
were
there.
we were just filling air, waiting for you to get back. We did not
Yep,
start
I'm
the
here.
conversation on Bone Tomahawk officially.
No, that's fine.
But since you're back, get back into it.
I love this movie.
Yeah, this is Fish's pick.
I love this movie. I think when we saw it the first time, it was me, you, and Neff who watched it together, and I was just so fucking. I like westerns,
Mm-hmm.
and then you throw some horror in there for me. I'm happy, girl.
It really is. It's a fusion of a classic. It's like modern classic western
Mm-hmm.
in pretty much every sense of the word, with like exploitation cannibal movie just jammed into it. And it's
Yeah.
amazing how well those two flavors go together.
It really is. I'm like, oh man, it's just, and they're such cowboys too. And I'm just like all of them, like they're the perfect versions of what each character is supposed to be, but it's also like a play. Like right up until the cannibal stuff,
It's
like
very,
it's like a play.
yeah, I
Like
can
I
see
feel like
that.
they should be on a set.
It's
And
very eloquently scripted.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it is so fucking well written.
Yeah, like that
Mhm.
was like I made one of my comments was this movie makes me want to expand my verbal vocabulary because
Right.
like oh my god how they talk in this movie is just so gorgeous.
And
Or it's
somehow
like-
make
it's like-
it so
it's like-
modern looking.
Yeah, where it's like I understand exactly what you're saying, but like people don't talk like that nowadays. Like I could see them like it makes sense in the setting of a western, the old west. Like it's like oh yeah, no, that's how they talked back. I don't know if it really was to some extent, but like I bought it. I'm like yeah, this is just how they talked back then, and it was amazing. And I want to talk like that, but people are gonna look at me weird if I just start using that kind of verbiage.
Uh-huh.
But I kind of want to do it anyway.
Right? Like, I mean, and it romanticizes the Western in that way, because you see a lot, not as good as Bone Tomahawk did it, but you'll see a lot of Westerns, they have the Southern slang, but it's usually more of the posh Southern slang. Like they're
Mhm.
high society.
Oh yeah, like
Southern
the refined Southern
Western.
gentleman.
Highfalutin, one might say.
Highfalutin, yeah.
Highfalutin. like Blanche from the Golden Girls came from one of these rich families. That's
Right,
right. These rich ranchers, and that's what they are. It's a rancher Western too, which I really
Yeah.
like. Because you have Westerns where there's farm, you have Westerns where there's ranch, and like I like Western ranchers. And it's just so beautifully well done. Like I like every single one of the characters except the troglodytes.
Yeah.
And even they are like so uniquely not likable, but interesting that it's like, damn.
Absolutely.
They leave an impact.
Yeah,
And
those things they have in their throats. Holy shit!
Yeah, like so this let me just confirm real quick. Yeah, this got scariest movie for me, and it's a good part of it is down to the troglodytes and that throat thing and how they would call to each other, because it's just fucking especially when you hear it in the background.
Mm.
And it's like it kind of sounds like a wolf, but it's not, and it's like that's fucking terrifying to me.
Is it weird that, because for me, you guys know how sound like really affects like when it's too cacophonous, it really affects me. But like also, I really, really like that sound. Like, is that weird? Like when they do it,
No,
each
I
time, I'm
liked
like,
it.
"Woo!"
I liked it too, but I liked it in the sense that like it freaked me the fuck out, and because I'm attracted to things that freak me the fuck out, I'm like,
Right.
that's cool.
Yeah.
But if I was walking the dusty trail one lonely night and I heard that shit in the distance, I would shit my pants.
Right, and they
You
use
know?
it pretty effectively too. Like I think when I first saw that, the first run through, I was like, "This is what the Velociraptors in Jurassic Park were supposed to do.
Yeah.
Like this is how cool it was supposed to be."
But they're human,
But
and
they're
that's what
human
makes
doing
it
it.
creepy.
Exactly.
Like
And
a
again,
dinosaur making that noise. I'm like, yeah, you're a dinosaur. You don't know any better. Humans that like live in a tribe and just that's how they communicate. It's like, okay,
and
I don't want to hang out with you anymore. You're on another
Exactly.
level. That's cool. I'm gonna go over and read a book, and you can go scream at each other. We're good.
You're progressed. Like they remind me too of like, so doing that and like knowing that they do it like on an animal that would be fine, but this is on a human. Like
Yeah.
they watched what works in their
Mhm.
land, and that again lends to the whole this is an intrusion upon their land. This
Yeah.
clearly belongs to them. This their base.
And it reinforces what the one Native American dude in the town, when they're asking the dude who knows about them, and he's like, they're not men. They're going to kill you.
And he's like, I ain't fucking going.
Yeah,
I'll just show you where it is on a map.
Yep. They're not my people. They're not men. They will fucking kill you. Like, you're going to die.
Exactly.
And that is emphasized by just like the shrieks they make through the throat, fucking weird things, and
I love it.
Everything.
I love it. It doesn't scare me. I'm like, that is so fucking cool. Like I can't believe like they convinced me that these humanoid things exist, that even someone who is native to the land that they're native to won't fucking go near. And I was like, like, yes, give me all the lore. I want to know so much more about them, and that makes them so attractive because you want to know more about them, but nobody's like, yeah, let me willingly take you up there to tell you about them. I don't even fucking know about them, and I've lived here 55 years. That's old to you people.
Right.
And then the doc sidekick that Kurt Russell has.
Oh yeah, the old man. Fuck,
Chicory.
Chicory. Thank you.
Chicory.
Yeah, no, he's amazing.
Chicory's fucking great.
Yeah,
he's my doc.
Chicory is best boy.
Only not as high.
He could have been high.
Does he not remind you of him?
I can see that. Yeah, he had a little Doc personality. Doc from Z Nation personality.
Mm-hmm. And it was a little progressive because, like, you had the young couple where the woman was a very important factor to the story, and to like hit onto like Patrick Wilson's. I keep trying to call him Paul Walker because they both of them never age. Patrick Wilson's what?
I was gonna make a bad joke because Paul Walker is dead. So
oh my god! I'm thinking of the wrong person.
You're right.
Walker.
Paul Walker isn't aging anymore.
Rudd. Paul Rudd is who I was thinking of.
Oh, Paul Rudd. Okay.
I am so sorry. Poor
I mean, it fits for Paul Walker too, because when Paul Walker was alive and doing work, like, he really didn't.
He was very much the same.
He looked the same, pretty much.
Like, they all have portraits
the
aging
expansion
for them in an attic.
Or like Carrie Elways. Carrie Elways doesn't age; she just becomes more waxen.
I've lost
basically.
But like, he was important to her. Like, she was important to his life, and like, it was so like they relied on her, and I was like, that's like charming.
It was one of, but it wasn't like the newest Magnificent Seven movie where you have Denzel Washington playing basically a bounty hunter and like in the Old West, and nobody ever mentions the fact that it's weird that a black man is just walking around smacking white dudes around, and like they're just like, oh well, he's the bounty hunter, so like that's odd based on the time period it's set in. In this one though, like where it does express kind of more of a progressive mindset where like they're like they respect the woman as a knowledgeable doctor and everything like that. Like there's still those elements of like it is set in the time period where it's set in, and they do treat her accordingly to that, but it also takes place in a very small closely knit town where they're like, listen, we like, the doc is drunk all the fucking time. You are sober and you know how to get shit done, so we're gonna utilize that, and that's cool. But at the same time, you are gonna have a male escort guiding you from the house to the jail cell and back again.
Exactly, but
this
it's
movie,
like we don't need to protect your spirit because you've got that, like you've got plenty of spirit and wit and like you've got personality. But physically, like, and she's smart enough to know that physically she's tiny. And like,
and at the same time, the movie does a good job of like kind of subtly or not so subtly in certain instances pointing out the fact that like, yeah, she's the smartest one of all of them.
Of all
like
of them.
When they all get captured and find her in the cage, and she's like, you guys are fucking idiots. Like, what the fuck are you doing?
Like, immediately they start taking her advice. They're like, how many of them are there here? And she just like list.
Yeah, and when they do the gimmick with the opium, and she's just like this one is gonna sleep for a long time, that one's gonna die, the third one won't be affected at all. It's like, she's fucking smart as shit.
She's just integral. Like, they rely on her.
Yeah, she's not in the movie much, but she's a very important character.
Progressive, and I love it. And then, like, just all the characters are just so good. Like, each and every one of them. Okay, so Matthew Fox, I will admit this here and now. Some of you have already heard this. Like, Matthew Fox, I think he's a fucking idiot. I can't stand him. I hated him on Lost. Like, even his character Jack was like the most dry man on the face of the earth, who's just like, but he's such a good actor. For some reason, like, I think he's the most ridiculous man in the world, but he can be such a good actor, and this is where he's such a good actor, and I didn't actually hate him this time.
Matthew Fox, to me, because like I think I get where you're coming from, and I have a similar relationship with Matthew Fox, where it's like, he's one of those actors like, he was in The Pianist, he was in the Predators movie, Adrian Brody.
Oh,
he's like Adrian Brody. I've seen Adrian Brody in a number of movies, and for some reason, usually all of those movies, I don't like his character and I don't like the movie. But for some goddamn reason, I want to like Adrian Brody. Matthew Fox is on that same list, where it's just like, most of the stuff I see you in, you're not doing the best performance and you're not playing the most interesting characters, but for some goddamn reason, I really want to like you as an actor.
That's been still for me too.
And this movie it paid that off for me, because I'm like, Matthew Fox is great.
Exactly. Like, that was the perfect.
He's such a douchebag, but I love him, and the movie also goes out of its way to show him not being a douchebag and also explaining why he's a douchebag, where it's like, okay, I understand this character. I don't necessarily agree with everything that he stands for or does, but I understand him, and he's interesting, and I find him compelling.
Yeah, very compelling. And like, I don't know what it is about Patrick Wilson, but he just makes me want to take his little head and put it right on my chest and just to pat his little head and just cuddle him for a little while, because he's just so sweet. Like, he's just an adorable. I know it's not great to just call men adorable, but like, he's just
I get it. Yeah, but, like, I get it, especially regarding him. Yeah, and weirdly enough, Patrick Wilson's also kind of on that list, only I've kind of liked him in everything that I've seen and like the movies that I've seen him, because he played a creepy shitbag pedophile in Hard Candy. I think was the first time I saw him.
I've never watched Hard Candy, and
it's
that's
good.
The reason why.
It's good.
I've heard it was good, and that's why I'm scared of it.
Nothing, from what I remember, nothing explicitly untoward happens that he does. It's more so like, Hard Candy is essentially, from what I recall from having seen it many years ago, it's a rape revenge film without the rape.
Okay.
It goes right to the revenge.
Well, because it was more of, wasn't the whole thing like she like lured in a predator?
Him. Yeah,
and then,
she lured him and then got revenge. So the hard to sit through portion of the rape revenge movie has been snipped out, and you just get the revenge.
Yeah, but the fact that, okay, so then I'm gonna associate him with like a creeper like that,
Oh,
and I know that you don't like, you're like, normally I can say, okay, this is the character, this is the actor. I don't want to willingly try to put myself in the situation with Patrick Wilson because I love him so much, and I hate pedophiles. I think they all should burn in hell. So
that's fair. But then like so like I knew him from that, and I was like, there's something about this dude, like he's interesting and unique. And then also the only other thing I really know him from is the A-Team movie, where he played the douchebag CIA agent and played it very well. Like he plays oh yeah, he was in Insidious. That's right. I forgot he was the main dude in that.
And in Insidious, he was also in there's another one in that line of movies.
Insidious 2. Oh no, The Conjuring. That's right. He was in The Conjuring.
Thank you.
I haven't seen The Conjuring.
The Convent or The Conjuring.
Yeah, I haven't seen The Conjuring yet.
It's
yeah, no, I love
it.
Patrick Wilson. Like he mostly played, like aside from like Insidious and this movie and The Conjuring, presumably, like I mostly know him playing like unlikable douchebag characters, but he plays them very well.
He does. Well, and I want to like, it's just something about his face that makes me want to baby him. And then the other hand is Kurt Russell, who, as I was mentioning earlier, I just completely would. It's like, take me, I'm ready.
the framing on your webcam makes it look like you were topless there. Couldn't see nothing, but that was.
I'm not. I have a tank top on.
Quite suggestive.
I just have a very broad chest. Sorry, guys. Like
that's all right. I just finished playing Bayonetta. Bayonetta had way more lewd poses.
Like, take me, like Kurt Russell, Zaddy, which I love him. He's just he's quiet. He's got them blue eyes, and he's just in a cowboy outfit. I'm like, all right, well, can we cosplay for a moment? Like, I don't normally want to role play in bed, but can like I role play with you, Kevin Costner? Like,
no, he's very, very good. I've loved Kurt Russell for a long, long time, and like I feel like no one can really, like, other people can do it and do it well, but like no one can really capture that barely contained anger,
yes,
like Kurt Russell can, where he can speak very eloquently to you, like in the scene where like after the abduction has happened and the dude comes in complaining about like, what are you gonna do about my horse? He's like, you mentioned that horse again, I'm gonna whip you until you're red.
And his
it's
eyes
just
get
like
angry.
Yeah, it's such like he's not over the top with it. It's very subtle, but like you can tell, like, oh yeah, no, he's gonna do that. You better shut the fuck up, because he will do that, and you won't stop him. But like, yeah, he's so good at that. Like, me and Neff watched Tombstone again recently, or I watched it again. She watched it for the first time, and like, there's a lot of that in there too, where like, yeah, that Kurt Russell rage is brimming under the surface and occasionally comes out, and it's just like, it's so good to watch.
You know where it's really good is Guardians of the Galaxy. That rage, that subtle rage, when he when he turns that to the notch toward psychopath, it's kind of really.
It's like one of the only times I think he's played like a full-on villain.
Yeah,
that I can think of.
He's a God. I love him. If he walked into my door, like, obviously, like, this is a fantasy, but if he ever like knocked on my door and was like, you know, let's just go at it, and I'd just be like, yes, let's do it right now. I'm here. You're here. Let's go. He's just beautiful. I love him like I love Hugh Jackman.
Anyway, Bone Tomahawk. Tomahawk. Yeah, that's the name of the movie. Drew, how more, or was?
No, I wanted to end it on Kurt Russell.
Oh, okay.
It's so good.
Kettle, what did you think?
Poor Kettle.
Yeah, I really liked it. It was very much. I enjoyed the blend of the Western with like it. Yeah, it was. I didn't. I guess in my opinion, anyway, Cannibals aren't like full on horror. They're like kind of is, or I don't associate it with it as much because it wasn't like really scary to me at a lot of points. Like
Right.
But it was like tense and just the like you saying, all the characters. I loved how they interacted together. I liked some of the creativity, like they had the tripwire at the camp, even though old John Bruder there was still an asshole and just shot everything that came by, and it's like, okay, well, that's what got the horses stolen, you asshole.
Right. I love how like after he sets it up and he's like telling them all about like, you know, if something jingles the wire, just like shoot, shoot, and then like he postures and is like, yes, I'm the most intelligent man here, like I'm smarter than all of you, and I've killed more Indians than all of you too, and everything like that. And then there's that quiet scene with what's the old dude's name? Chicory and Kurt Russell talking about like how to read a book while in the bath, and he's like, I bet Mr. Bruder wouldn't come up with that solution. And then the wire jingles and he immediately launches up and fires. Like all these scenes are just like so well set up.
It was a lot of good setup. I did feel it did drag on at points, but
I could see that. Yeah.
At the same time, it also like that's kind of the journey they were doing anyway. Like
especially with like one dude who had a broken leg.
Right.
It's like, yeah, we're gonna be here a minute.
So I mean that makes sense, and yeah, the writing and the character interaction like made up for that for me for sure.
They at least filled that long-winded space with interesting characters doing stuff, as opposed to just being like, "You're an alcoholic. Shut up."
Oh, if Welcome to the Jungle would have been 2 hours and 15 minutes, I'd have turned it off and just rated it as was. Like, ain't no way I could deal with 2 hours and 15 minutes of Bijou.
No.
But and then when they finally did encounter the troglodytes, like, they were pretty spooky, and the throat things and the screaming, it was very unsettling. And then when they finally got caught, the poor deputy, holy fucking shit, he got the short end of things.
Yeah. That got best kill for me. Yeah.
Absolutely, same here. It's like, scalp him, jam him down his throat, and then saw him from the ding dong downwards. Like,
yep, and then rip him in half. Like, fuck.
Yeah, that got he got best kill for me there, and I liked how kind of the plot devices came together, like the tincture of opium, and like, oh, we had a little bit of that. It's like, well, let's poison who we can. Yeah. And it's just like they had the little strategies for like, okay, there's this many guys left. Okay, well, we can do this and this and this. And then it's like, okay, that means there's this many guys left. So they're trying to keep in mind. It's like, well, all right, well, how many is Arthur going to have to kill as he's moving his way up?
Yeah,
because he was farther behind and didn't get captured in the first part there.
And then also like the weird, like, because at that point of the movie you're like, it's a dude who like has like an incredibly broken leg, and is not capable of facing these things whatsoever, and yet it somehow manages to work to his favor, because him having to crawl makes it harder for the cannibals to spot him coming, to the point that he's already up on them by the time they realize he's there. Yeah, like kind of like Tremors, where like they had to think their way around the problem, and a lot of the movie is devoted to showing the characters thinking their way around the problem.
Right, and then Arthur like cuts open one of their throats and takes one of the
takes the
things
thing,
out, and is
yeah.
like, "All right, time to start
This
luring
is-
these motherfuckers to me."
Yep.
I love that. That was
the
great.
characters are like the problem they're facing is almost insurmountable, but like they're clever and they figure things out along the way. Like that's always such a captivating, engrossing element in movies that weirdly isn't done enough, I think.
Mm-hmm. Oh, something I had written down is if those are the 4 rock formations he's making, I would be lost as fuck because they did not look very distinct. It was like, 4 rocks together, like
Yeah, it's just a line of
how
rocks.
often?
Like how yeah. I didn't really think about that, but that's a good point.
Yeah, they're like, well, we'll leave the trail with 4 rocks. It's like, you mean on this prairie where there's fucking rocks everywhere?
Yeah.
But I gotta chuckle out of that.
Mm-hmm.
But and then when they're in the Cannibals jail or whatever, when Chicory's talking about that story about the flea circus.
Oh yeah.
That was the funniest shit. I love that.
And then what's her face reinforces him.
Yeah, it's like,
comfort him a
the
little
ones
bit.
at that circus, those were the ones.
Those are
ones that
legitimate.
were real.
Yeah,
Yeah.
most
All the other
most
ones
of
are
them
fake.
are fake, but like those guys, they were legit.
Mm-hmm. He's like, I knew it. He just looks so pleased with himself.
Yeah, and then that immediate dread when they hear the fucking cannibal shriek. And he's like, oh fuck. Yeah, that was a good scene.
And then, that's what I believe those fleas are alive and talented.
And talented.
And then I got probably lastly the thing is when they're about to leave the sheriff and they leave him the repeater or whatever, and when Chicory when the sheriff tells Chicory, like, say goodbye to my wife, I'll say hello to yours. I was like, oh my god, my soul.
The fucking feels, dude.
Yeah.
It's like, oh shit.
So that was thrown in there, pretty good. I felt like, just overall the whole movie was really quite good. It got a lot of, basically it got every category that Green Inferno did not. So for me, that's favorite kill, favorite story, the comfiest, the sleeper hit, because I didn't really know what to expect out of a Western cannibal movie. The favorite music, just because Western stuff.
Also, like, did you stick around through the credits on this one at all? Did you get to hear?
No, I don't think I did.
Oh man, dude, go back to the credits on this one. It's got a custom like theme song that plays over the end credits. It's so fucking good. Like that alone was almost enough for me to give this one best music.
And then favorite special effects solely based on the killing of the deputy. I was like, holy fucking shit, that was so fucking metal. But yeah, that's more or less my thoughts on Bow and Tomahawk.
Yeah. What about you, Neff? Fish claims you were there watching with us the first time through, but
I didn't remember it.
My memory was you were on the computer doing other stuff. Like you were not paying attention.
No, you're right. She was on the computer, but I remember being
you were present but not watching.
It.
Yeah, I might have been. I did not remember any of that movie. Which I mean, it's fine because I watched it now and I fucking loved it. And
there you go.
It was fucking amazing. Kurt Russell. Those cannibals were terrifying. I just there's a part of me that just kind of wants like a day in the life of a
troglodyte.
Thank you. Just like because I want to see like when they decide that they're gonna get those thingy. Like I want to know their culture. It's bad culture, but I want to know it.
Dude, I would take a full feature-length movie about like literally any character in this movie, including the troglodytes. Like they could just take any one of them, make a full movie about them doing anything whatsoever, and I would watch it.
Right? Like it's so good, and I'm just makes me want to watch even more westerns.
Right? Like,
Yeah.
oh my god, good westerns are so good.
This is like, I think this is on the spectrum of movies where like you could show this to a like someone who's like full on like, I don't watch horror, I don't want anything to do with the horror
My
genre.
dad would love this.
You
movie.
could show this to a adamant non-horror fan who likes westerns, and they would fucking love it. And
still haven't
conversely,
gotten
you
to
could
show
show
it to
it to a hardcore horror fan, and they would love it too. Like it rides the spectrum.
I still haven't gotten to show it to Mary because we just got busy when she was here. But like, she wants to see this because one, Kurt Russell, and she loves him. And then that too, like, it's not bad enough to freak her out, but it's still gonna freak her out, and I'm gonna love watching her get scared. But you know, she's the least hardcore of horror ever.
But no, I had a really good time watching it in just the simple fact of the characters were just so good. I could have been just fine with watching that entire movie, and it's the town's day in the life.
Yeah.
Like, I would have been okay with that. Like, give me a TV show, show me all their shit. I just feel so bad for I don't know what Kurt Russell's name actually is as a character in this.
Fuck.
Sheriff Franklin Hunt.
Thank
Sheriff
you.
Hunt, that's right.
I feel bad for his wife because all she wanted was for him to come home safe. Like, you better come back alive, and like that was all. And I was just like, oh no, she's been sick, and now he's gonna go out there and no, it's Kurt Russell. He ain't gonna die. He died, but in the most badass fucking way ever. Also, can we touch note on their way of breeding, by the way?
Ugh.
Oh yeah, no, that's
Can we take a little touch note on that one?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
They amputate the arms and the legs of the women, gouge their eyes out,
sticks in their eyes, yeah.
Yeah, and sew their mouth. No, they don't sew the mouths up. Do they? No.
Not that I saw.
Like corked their eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah, they corked their eyes, and that was it. And then they're just left.
But even so,
pregnant.
yeah, no. It's a brief visual, but it's like, oh shit, that's fucked.
Right? I was just like, no, thank you. Not today. Not any day. Got that part messing as they're leaving, and I'm just like, I don't honestly know what you would do in that situation. There's nothing you really can do other than like the nicest possible thing, which would be to shoot him in the head. But
yeah, but they didn't even have the guns or ammo to do that.
No, it's just like, damn. Like, but Kurt Russell got him in the end, killed all of them.
Or at least presumably. It's off camera, but yeah, you hear the three presumably there are 3 left and we hear 3 shots. So
it's Kurt Russell. He finished the damn job.
I mean, I believe that too. It's just like also classic movie TV show logic, like if you don't see it happen on camera, like
but
that leaves it open to be like anything gonna happen.
I can't crack my finger and it hurt.
Oh no.
I can't crack my finger because any pressure on my finger like hurts so bad.
Ow.
Gray bit me.
Yeah. Gray has tasted human flesh.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
She heard it was Cannibal Month.
Yeah, apparently.
No, like my nail bed is all bruised and shit, and like she punctured one side of my finger. Like it was I wasn't like poking at her, and she wasn't doing anything horrible. She just got a little too nippy. So, but
did she pierce skin?
Yeah, she did. I cleaned it. Don't worry. I've dealt with a cat bite before. It's clean. It got soaked in fucking alcohol for a little bit. Like I have like 99% alcohol for when I do my nails, and yeah. I just dunked it in that for a little bit. And I was like, we are not dealing with an infected finger, not today.
Nah.
So it's not swollen or hot or anything. It's sore. Take that as you will. Uh-huh. But yeah, Bone Tomahawk.
Oh yeah, that movie.
There
Yeah.
was no Tomahawk. This movie did not toot its own title.
No, I think there was. It's just it wasn't focused on that much. Weirdly enough, considering it was the title, but it still like got the point across because like their weapons were made out of human bones and shit.
Oh, there was a Bone Tomahawk. You're right.
Yeah, because that's
You're
what
right.
that's
They
what
just
took
didn't
out.
say it.
Yeah, that's what took out
Yeah.
Matthew Fox's character.
Yeah.
Because they
That's
show him
right.
with the bone tomahawk lodged in his head.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god. Such
So-
a good movie.
It is.
Ooh.
I very much enjoyed it. The
Yeah,
first time and this time.
Yeah, it's definitely on that ever-growing list of like movies I would totally put on and watch while like just chilling on the couch.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, no, this
I
guy.
think it actually it got comfiest movie for me. Sleeper
Yes.
hit. Favorite SFX because the bone, it was so cool. The bone fucking whistles like
Yeah.
so
yeah.
good. And it also
Favorite
got
SFX was honestly for me a tough one this month.
Mm.
Because all
Yeah.
the effects work was good in pretty much all of them.
And then most entertaining is also what it got for me because like I was just through the slice of life town shit to the walk while they were talking. I mean, because he talks about fucking like books in a bathtub, and I'm just like, that is adorable, old man.
Mm-hmm.
That is adorable. Like he's such a cute old man, Chicory. But yeah, no, I was thoroughly entertained the entire time I was watching that. It was a good time all around.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. I'm sorry, I don't have as much of a tirade.
That's fine. Yeah, no, looking at it, like we all gave Bone Tomahawk comfiest movie, which I can see, like, because there's a lot of like somber moments, and it's a comfortable movie with the characters and everything like that, and the dialogue and everything. I also gave it favorite kill for the same reasons Kettle pointed out. Scariest, because if I heard those things screeching, I'd be like, oh shit, man. I gave it sleeper hit because like I had heard about this movie prior to watching it, and I had heard decent stuff about it, but I honestly didn't know what to expect. Like, especially like I think from what same as what Kettle said, where it's like a Western cannibal movie. What's this here about? I don't know about that, but it really really impressed me, and then also most entertaining. Also, like, yeah, on the point of like just the characters, we have random David Arquette and Sid Haig
Yeah.
to open
I
the
love
movie.
that intro.
Yeah, that intro, like, and they show up, and you know they're gonna be like the pre-credit sequence like kills, but they're playing it like main characters. Like, if the movie had just been about them, like you could buy that. You could buy
That
it
was
just being about
a
them.
note I had was like, I want to go on adventures with Sid Haig and David Arquette.
Mhm.
Like, fuck it, why not? Let's go rob some graves.
Like, and like I've kind of got like a headcanon. Watching this time, I developed a headcanon of Sid Haig's character in this being like an ancestor of Captain Spaulding. Because it would make sense. He's doing kind of the Captain Spaulding thing.
I could see grave robbers being in his lineage.
Yeah. Or just like bandits, like cutthroats,
Yeah.
out in the Old West. And it was reinforced a moment later when Sid Haig is talking about his uncle used to have an acquaintance with a man who was a doctor. And my mind went, Dr. Satan?
Yeah, that one.
Was it Dr. Satan? I bet it was.
Yeah.
But yeah, any like David Arquette is so fucking quirky and weird. I love that dude. And then yeah, Sid Haig, rest in peace. But like, dude, that guy was a legend. But it emphasizes like again like how good the characters were in this fucking movie, where like you know bad stuff is gonna happen to them, and at least some, if not all of them, are gonna die, but you really, like, again, Opposed to something like Welcome to the Jungle, where you're like, hurry up and fucking die. I want to see you die. Please fucking die, and die slowly and painfully, and let me see it. In this movie, it's the opposite. It's like, I don't want any of you to die. I want good things to happen to all of you. I want you to all go home and be happy. At least that was my takeaway from it. And the fact that you know that that's not going to happen just makes it more impactful, and the dread build even more. And it's kind of like the fact Sid Haig, David Arquette playing relatively small roles, because it's a relatively small cast, so they could get away with that. Like, have familiar faces playing pretty much just like throwaway characters, which helps to like build the character in general. The sleepy piano player, like to that point,
that guy was great.
You know who he was?
No.
Mr. Strickland from Back to the Future. The principal from Back to the Future.
Oh.
That was him. So even a one-scene character of just the sleepy piano player, they got kind of a noteworthy character actor to portray that role because the cast was so small. And I feel like it made a difference.
I loved his whole thing. It was like 1 song 3 cents, 2 songs 6 cents, 3 songs 10 cents.
Yeah.
Like, well, by that logic, shouldn't 3 songs be 9 cents? He's just like, I get sleepy after the first 2 songs.
Yeah. If you want another one, you got to pay more. And he's like, all right, that was a dime. He's like, if you want me
I know
to play,
what a dime sounds like.
If you want me to play, you got to buy me a drink first. There's another side to that sign. He's gonna get you.
Oh yeah.
And I love just like the little layers of world building in there, like the fact that like it's just common knowledge that the sheriff is going to shoot someone in the leg. He's done this enough times that they're just all like, God damn it, you did it again. Like, this is just a thing he does. He just shoots people in the fucking leg. So like, and that helps to like immediately draw you into buying it as a real world and real people, because it's like they have a history. They don't go into it. They don't waste time like developing and being like, oh yeah, and then there was the third time he shot someone in the leg and this was the situation there. It's not needed. You just like have a few characters that are familiar with the situation being like, yeah, he shot another one in the leg. Like, oh god damn it, again? Really? Every time with him. And it works. The dialogue is incredible.
With Matthew Fox and Paul Walker again.
Patrick Wilson. Oh yeah, like yeah, and the fact that they have a history linking them with his wife and how he tried to court the wife and she turned him down and now she's with Patrick Wilson. Yeah, like
you're not saying no words to my wife. a
little like, yeah, a little history. Like, they don't go into deep detail because they don't need to. There's just enough there to be like, okay, these people have history. We understand what it is, and it directs their emotional reactions to one another. I did make a note. The black guy did not die first, but he did still die.
Yeah.
I do like pointing out when that Scream horror movie rule is proven wrong. Although, like, again, yeah, the black guy usually dies. There's usually only the one, and he usually dies. That's true. Yeah, Kurt Russell playing an Old West lawman is basically a trope at this point, but god damn it, I will never get sick of that trope, because at this point, Tombstone, this, Hateful Eight, that's at least 3 that I can think of.
Hateful Eight. I was trying to remember if he was in it, because I just watched
Hateful Eight came out like around the same time as this one too, so he did that like back to back. And then, yeah, again, like, just kind of that understated, like, you understand it, but they don't. Like, other movie, like, for specifically, the dude with the broken leg should not go on the 3-day journey to try to rescue his wife. That's just a dumb idea. Other movies, I feel like, like the same shit would happen, but we'd have a prolonged scene of people trying to tell him, you got a broken leg, man, you can't go. Like, stop trying to go. And then eventually being like, all right, fine, you can come because we can't stop you. This one, like, they kind of address it, but really, like, Kurt Russell is like, his character is just like, his wife was taken. He's going. It's a dumb idea that he's going. He shouldn't go, but he's going. I can't stop him. He needs to go. So he's coming along.
He tries to do his due diligence and like deter him a little bit, and then he just comes along.
He makes a subtle effort, a subtle nudge of being like,
right.
Like, we both understand you shouldn't do this, but we also both understand you're going to do this. Mm-hmm. And also, I'm going to do this even though it's a bad idea because I'm the sheriff and it's my duty. So, like, even, like, when he's talking to his wife, it's like, or, I don't know if it was to his wife or just in the bar, but he's like, the two of us are going. We have no choice. It's just happening.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that was, again, a cool, subtle way to, like, really instill, like, the nature of the characters and kind of shorthand your way to just getting around to doing the thing and not wasting a bunch of time being like, oh, should we, shouldn't we? Oh, you shouldn't go. You got a busted leg. Like, they just skip right past that. They acknowledge it and then they skip right past it in a satisfying way.
Chicory too, they really emphasize that because he's like, I'm going.
Chicory like kind of if anything, Chicory forces himself onto the expedition more than Patrick Wilson's character.
Yeah.
Where he like, and Kurt Russell is like, no, you should stay here. Like, the deputy and the sheriff are gone. There needs to be some law in town. He's like, oh no, fuck that. I'm going with you. So on top of the numerous, and there were numerous kills and deaths in this movie, I also included the snake getting killed, because the setup for the snake getting killed was the funniest shit ever. I see a snake in a tree. What kind of snake? Bang! Deceased. I was like, you know what? Yep, snake death counts. And then the horse death counted because it was fucking heartbreaking. Like that, yeah. If you wanna inject some kind of humanity and sympathy for a character that is pretentious, dicketry, and bigoted, yeah, you show how much he cares about his horse.
He loved his horse.
Like that was like, that pulled off all of the pretense of being like that fine southern gentleman and made him human, where he's like, oh god, my horse. But yeah, the movie made me want to expand my verbal vocabulary for sure. It also, like Green Inferno, like the cannibals in this looked awesome, like with the tusk dude and everything like that. Like, they looked really cool. The moral of the story was opium gets shit done, because it thinned out the cannibal tribe, and it also gave Patrick Wilson's character enough of a high to actually go in and kill the rest of them and rescue people. And yeah, no, overall, yeah, I love this fucking movie. It's very good. Mm-hmm. There's so much to like.
It's a pretty movie.
Mm-hmm. There was something else I thought of during that.
I got very big Lord of the Rings vibes, like Fellowship.
It is
of the
a lot
Rings
of walking.
Specifically when they're all like,
it is a lot of walking.
It's not even the walking, but specifically when they're hashing out who's going. And I feel like Kurt Russell should have taken on the Elrond 9 Fellowship, 9 rapes. We got this.
They play the swelling, like, fucking Lord of the Rings music.
Da-da! Da-da-da-da-da. Yeah.
It sure was a lot of walking.
Hey, it's a journey. There's walking on journey. This just
It is.
proves
I
that theory
honestly,
right.
I didn't like. I could see, and I think I remember feeling that way the first time through, where I was like, "Oh shit, this is gonna take forever. This is gonna be them just walking through the plains for like hours, and it's gonna drag." But like, yeah, no, they came up with enough interesting stuff to sprinkle along the way for me that I was just like, yeah, this is fine. This is still fun because I get to see these characters interact and do stuff. Anything else on the Bone Teamy Hanky?
Nope.
Mm-mm.
All right, Raw, which was Neffy's pick.
It was.
Unsurprisingly, won the award for most nudity of all the movies this month.
Did it really?
Oh yeah, no, there was plenty of nudity in this movie.
Huh.
Comparative to the other ones.
So like, love this movie so much. It's, I don't know, it just kind of came out of left field. Like, so there were things going around it that people, like, when they saw it, they would run out of the theater puking.
Yeah, this movie had some infamy with, like, yeah, running the festival circuit and audiences fleeing the theater because they got sick and had to leave.
Like, and I guess I guess I can get it. The scene where she's in the restroom and she's throwing up all of her hair, that's pretty grody. I don't like it. It squicks me out. And I don't normally squick out from stuff like that. And the part where she is literally like making love to her sister's finger is at least like, with her mouth, like that was just, I was like, that's revolting. But like it just has like a lot of different, like it seems like it should be pretentious and have like a lot of different layers to it.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, it's mostly about a girl who finds out she's genetically a cannibal.
Yeah.
Like,
cannibalism is genetic in the Raw universe.
Apparently. And, you know, the car thing being, you know, her sister who was killing all the people,
Mm-hmm.
you know, through that way. Sorry, I am fading just a little bit.
Oh no. Well, we're on the last movie, so.
Yeah. But the first of all, I just love the actress that they chose for the main chick. And simply because like she does pull off that like innocent, doe-eyed, like, oh, what am I doing? What are you talking about?
Right. And then also shifting into that full-on predator mode. Yeah, she makes that shift very well.
Oh my god, that kissing the mirror scene is one of the most awkward but amazing scenes I have ever seen.
My notes for that involved being frustrated that this movie is subtitled, because it forced me to, and I remember this the first time that we watched it too, like it forced me to have to divide my attention between the weird what the fuck performance she was doing, which I really wanted to pay attention to, and the weird what the fuck lyrics of the song she was listening to.
Right?
I was like, wait, no, I wanna catch all of these.
So what you do is you go through and you watch the subtitles first, then you rewind it, and then you just watch what's going on.
I just made my eyes do a juggle dance in my skull and made the best out of it.
Dude, French rap is amazing.
That was, I kind of want that song in my Zune or whatever the fuck the kids are using these days.
Your Zune? The Zune hasn't been a thing for like ever. But I mean, no surprise it won a lot. Yep. Who knows? It won a lot of awards for me. Favorite music, possibly purely for the mirror kissing scene. Just that song is just so good.
It got favorite music for me too for that song, and then also like the main theme. which was
Yeah.
super, like, it felt like an Argento movie. Like Goblin.
Right?
It felt like a
Yeah, I
Goblin
think that's
song.
why I like this so much, is because it did just have a very Argento-esque feel to it,
Mhm.
only French.
Right,
And
yeah.
like it the levels of it to, like, she would have been fine if she had not eaten that little liver thing. Little rabbit liver. She would have been perfectly
This is
okay.
the danger of raising your child to be a vegetarian. They're going to go off to college and they're going to eat some meat and they're going to realize how delicious it is, and then they're going to take it way too far.
And then my heart hurt when she woke up to her roommate being dead because she done did ate him.
Mhm.
Mhm.
I was so sad for her because he was he was a little bit of a dick at times, but like, whatever.
Mhm.
It happens, and she's just like, no, shaking him, and then like his leg is just ate, and like I
Yeah.
asked the same thing she did. Why didn't he fight back? What the fuck was going on? Were you just kind of letting her mush out your fucking upper leg?
Well, the implication I took from that was that potentially she had nothing to do with any of that, and it was all her sister, because he had the wound in his back from the ski thing, and then she walks around the corner to her sister being basically just like vacant and playing the video game with her face smeared with blood. So I think the implication was that the sister came in, killed him, and then ate most of his leg, and then sat down to play some video games.
Right, yeah, that's why she ends up in jail. Right?
Yeah.
My brain just goes to her asking why he didn't fight back, and I'm like, that's a very good question. Why didn't he fight
And then
back?
they answer it.
Yeah, they do. But like, this movie just did so much right. It's kind of hard to put into words at times, just simply because it is kind of an experience.
Mhm.
And there are moments where I'm like, this is very clearly art housey, like the dance club part, but like, it's so minuscule compared to the rest of it. It just feels like a giant homage to Argento, honestly.
Well, it feels like a fusion between like what you would expect from like kind of more of an art housey type flick with like French extreme horror. Like, it's not as extreme as a lot of the French extreme horror I've seen is, but it does come close to that. And it's not as pretentiously art house as pretentious art house movies are, but there is like a layer of that as well. So it's kind of like just a mash of both of those things together.
But yeah, so it got favorite story for me, favorite poster, because I like simplistic posters. And it got most disturbing movie from me. And the reason being, it's just like, honestly, it does disturb, just simply, like, especially at the end where the father opens up his shirt.
Oh yeah,
it's just got chunks of him missing, and
I'm sure you'll find a solution.
Right?
Like, oh fuck.
And then of course favorite music, like, it hit a lot of good notes.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, I think I gave it the same categories you did: music, most disturbing, poster, and story.
Now I'm really intrigued to hear what Kettle and Fish have to say about this movie.
What do you gotta say for yourself, Fish? You were excited. You were commenting in chat while watching this about how excited you were. I'm excited to know what you were excited about.
So, that whole scene, like, about like maybe 20 minutes, not even 20 minutes into the movie. Well, yeah, because they're in the school by then. The whole scene where they anesthetize the horse.
Yeah.
Literally step by step how it gets done.
Nice. So that was like full on accurate.
Interesting. It was so accurate.
Nice.
I was like, oh shit, I've done that before.
It did seem like it was like wherever they filmed it, it might have been like actually a real veterinary hospital. Because even like the one scene where Justine, or not Justine, the main chick walks in to her sister with her being elbow deep up a cow's ass. Like, that's not special effects. That's not a fake cow. That actress shoved her arm up a cow's ass.
She did. I think they were, because I mean that's a large animal clinic, and I mean that's what a teaching school looks like for large animals too. I've been on it on a smaller scale, like in an actual just like plain clinic for thoroughbreds, but like just to the point where I think they were actually anesthetizing that horse.
Okay.
like I thought.
I mean, they almost would have had to like do what they did to it. I would think.
I guess
to like safely for the actors and the animal, like they would have to anesthetize it to
no, I mean,
pull it
get
up
a horse down like that. You could teach a horse to like lay down and do it.
But didn't they like hook it up and like drag it out by its legs?
Then they hobble it up. Yeah. Like when they hobbled it up, I was like, huh. Because you could use a prop in the place of an actual horse at that point too.
Potentially.
And like, but just the only difference that I know about in this could be like potentially like because there are differences in the way certain clinics will treat a horse going under anesthesia than others. But the way that I was taught is once that tube is down their throat, you want to have like a hand oxygen pump. Like you want to manually pump until they get over onto the table and get hooked up to actual O2.
Right.
But other than that, like that was pretty much the way it was done, and I was pretty excited about that. And then I thought it was really interesting, like an interesting take and a definite difference between tribal cannibals that could possibly exist to a story about a mom and dad hiding the simple fact that they're vegan is because they think their daughter will become maybe they could predict that she would become too good of a predator. Like maybe there was some conversation between mom and dad down the line, like she so much of you, honey, haha, so sweet. Fuck, we gotta keep her from becoming a psycho killer cannibal. Father, the sacrifice, like there's so much love in that family despite like the freak nature of the family, because like look at how many bites the father took just because he loved the mom. It was also a funny subtle twist because like you know how in stories like usually and in life too, like if there's something hereditary passed down, it's usually passed down from the father's chromosomes. It's funny that it was passed down from the maternal side on this one. I was like, that's pretty cool. The females are fucking crazy and they're gonna
they man eaters.
I'm pretty sure in French society, all women are man eaters. So, no, I'm kidding. I love the French. I actually really do. And I love when they put out entertainment because the music and the movies and the characters that are French or even like Nolan's French, they're pretty showy and always got that smooth, like even in their personality and their way, the cadence of their talk, like they're just smooth and sweet, and it's like having a pretentious cigarette and knowing it's pretentious and pretentiously saying what you're doing isn't wrong when you totally know it's bad for you.
Okay.
I don't know how to describe it. It's like anything French to me, like French movies are just so pretentious and they know they're pretentious, but they're like, I'm gonna be smooth about it. I know what I'm doing right now, but you like it. I wasn't too uncomfortable with the vomiting. I was like, she's just a little clogged up. If it had been like actual bleh, I might have like started having to walk away from the computer, but no, it was fine. I was like, ew, do you need like a toilet snake for that or something? Like, ew, you got hairball. I'm trying to like, she was cute. The girl was cute. The main chick, like even when she was going crazy, she was cute. And I like Neffy. I felt really bad for her and the roommate because I really like the roommate. He was so adorable. And their relationship together beforehand. But yeah, no, I really like this movie. It was pretty good. It won a few for me. It won most disturbing because a lot of it was.
Yeah.
And my favorite story, just because I was like, that's an interesting take on cannibalism.
Yeah. What did you think, Cattle?
It was definitely an interesting premise. I didn't really know what to expect going into it, but I definitely liked the, I guess, kind of like twist of it. I don't know if that's what you'd want to call it, but it's something that I'd certainly never would have thought of or have seen before. The idea of like an urge to eat people as being a genetic thing,
right?
So I thought that was kind of interesting, and also just the fact that it had to be, at least in the one girl, activated, as it were.
Right.
And it made in the very beginning, the mom freaking out about, oh my god, there was a meatball in your mashed potatoes, make a lot more sense. Because my very first note of watching the movie is like, oh look, a French vegetarian Karen. That's nice to see.
And that's what it comes across as at the start of it, until you realize later on, like, oh shit, she was making sure that her daughter didn't like eat the face off of the waitress.
So yeah, it was I don't know, just like bizarre. And that veterinary school, like, what the hell? It looks like a fucking gulag.
Yeah. It's like
easy cleaning kettle.
It's weirdly
easy
desolate.
Easy, very cleaning.
I mean, and your like nurse lady casually lighting up a cigarette in the exam room. That's very French. Oh, I had to know. Sometimes you just need that early morning raw chicken.
Oh yeah.
In the mini fridge, just like.
That's not cereal. That's not cereal at all.
No. And then when her sister gets like her little fingertip cut off, and like that scene where she's like sitting there holding it, and it's just like, oh no, and then all of a sudden it's like, no.
Finger food.
Yeah. She was just eating that thing like a chicken wing.
Yeah.
And then I had the note of their dad is so over everything, and I don't blame him. And then with the end reveal of that being the case, it's just like, dude, I don't even know why you're still here.
Right.
Like, holy shit.
Like the whole, like, he's not in the movie. He's only in like a couple of scenes, but like until he starts saying shit to me, like he struck me as the type of dude. It's like he's got something to say. This man is aching to say something. Like he's got something buried. He wants to let it out, but he's not doing it. And then at the end, he finally lets it out, and oh, buddy, does he got something to say?
Oh yeah. But overall I did like it. It did not win any categories for me, but that's more of like, it's not because I didn't enjoy it, but more of just because like the other stuff I liked better. But overall, I did still enjoy it. And also the whole, like, with her older sister doing the whole causing car crashes thing, I'm like, girl, that is fucked.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, watch this. Whoop.
Want to see
dive
a
out in the street here.
Yeah, like I questioned the fuck out of that. Like the first time through, it's like, what the? Because it starts with that happening, and you get no context for what the fuck is going on.
Right.
And then it's revealed what is actually happening with that, and it's like, oh, that's, I guess, a clever way to curb your cannibalistic urges, I guess.
Yeah, but you'd also think after a while they'd be like, maybe we should like install a stoplight here or something.
Yeah, like I'm just like thinking about this long term, and it's something that she's done multiple times, because over the course of the movie we see 3 instances of her doing this, presumably, because when they're taking the bus out to the gas station, there's another car accident. But it's like, okay, so every time you want a snack, you go out to the road, you wait for a car, and you throw yourself in front of it. Well, what if they don't swerve in time? Then you're just roadkill. Okay. And then on top of that, you gotta bank on them swerving, missing you, and then also hitting one of the trees. There were a lot of trees, so the possibilities are high, but not guaranteed. Like, what if they just miss the tree and go out into that flat field right behind it? Like, then you've got some splaining to do.
Yeah.
And then even if everything goes right, how many times, like, granted, like, you could expect the authorities to be like, oh, well, you know, a fucking fox must have jumped out into the road and oops, what an unfortunate accident. But after multiple times over a short time period, I feel like eventually the authorities would be like, hey, something's going on here. Like, yeah, install a camera or a stop sign or just like look into this a little bit more and be like, oh, hey, these wounds from the car accident got some teeth gnawing on them too. That's weird. Yeah. So yeah, like as a long-term plan, hell, even as a short-term plan, it just seems really not all that smart. But it's also kind of, by the time you get to the end of the movie, it's kind of revealed that the older sister is pretty fucking reckless.
Yeah.
Like, it's revealed throughout the entire movie that she's pretty fucking reckless, but by the end, it's like, oh yeah, no, she's gone completely cannibal crazy. And cannot control her urges.
Right.
So I guess in that respect, it makes sense that she would just do something that reckless to try and keep control of it. What's that?
I like the older sister.
I liked her too. Like, she was fucking nuts, but I liked her.
No, I said I didn't like her.
Oh, you didn't like her? Oh.
No.
Well, that's fair too, because she was fucking nuts. Like, I can see both sides of that coin. Like, I liked her because she was nuts, and I thought she was interesting, but I could see her being very annoying too.
It wasn't that she was annoying. She was fucking mean. Like, that whole scene where she takes her into the morgue. And she's like, her sister is so drunk and out of her gourd that like, and she like brings everybody in to watch. Like, what the fuck? Go, what? That's your little sister. Stop that. Mm.
Yeah, there was definitely a lot of back and forth between the older sister like being an absolute bitch to her younger sister. Like, it was like an extreme version of like a sibling relationship where there's that love-hate dynamic, but like just dialed up to 11.
But like conversely to that, like when her sister herself went out of, like when the older sister went out of her gourd, like the little one took care of her instead of, and like kept her shame away. And I was like,
they were inherently different. Yeah, they were inherently different personalities.
I just wanted the little sister to just eat her bigger sister just to get fucking rid of her, because like I thought she was so fucked. I was like, you know what? Like, this sweet little girl who is also a psychopath, like, took care of you.
Mm-hmm.
Show that like it's funny to say this, the irony, like there's basic humanity there and you don't have it. You're just a mean little shit.
Yeah. Die.
Get eaten.
Yeah, I didn't know it. In France, even the college hazing rituals are extreme and weird.
Yeah, I was just like, what in the fuck kind of school is this?
What is going on? Also, college, the only place where you can have a really in-depth discussion about monkey rape.
Right.
Because again, that was just a conversation they were casually having over lunch.
It's all good.
Yeah. I did say, damn, Adrian, hang a sock on the doorknob or something when she walks on and walks in on him getting the blowjob, and he like casually shuts the door. It's like, dude, like, hang a fucking sock. Like, there's protocols for this. Like, come on, man. Hey, is that a meat patty in your pocket, or are you just happy to see me? Or stealing the meat and trying to get away with it?
And I like the whole thing, basically the lunch lady is like, I don't care if it's in your pocket, I just got charged
I have to see it so I can charge you for it. I don't care where you put it. Like, clearly we're a French veterinary school. We do some weird fucking creepy shit constantly. You can put meat patties wherever you like, but I gotta see it for protocol reasons to charge you. Like, oh, okay. How do you top the hair puking scene? Have a lady elbow deep in a cow's ass. How do you top the arm up the cow ass scene? Ladies pissing standing up. How do you top girls pissing standing up? One sister waxing the other one's pubes and a crotch hungry dog. Like, that was just a montage of what the fuckery for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then when they're in the hospital, like that weird, creepy, toothless fucker. That was random. That guy was weird. I want to know what his story was. You taste like curry. Things only a cannibal can tell you.
Yeah.
Also, eyeball licking, because why the fuck not, France? Yeah. That did you catch that in the club scene where they're panning through and the lady's like tonguing that dude's eye hard?
Oh yeah.
It's just like, why? What the fuck is wrong with you?
It's like the armpit scene all over again.
Oh, in Flesh for Frankenstein, the armpit slurping. This did make me make me realize, because there's a few like party scenes and whatnot where alcohol is like predominantly present throughout and people are clearly drinking and doing drugs. But it's something I've noticed in a few movies now, since starting to keep track of like how many times people drink booze in these movies. There's a lot more instances of alcohol being present and shown like in a cup and everything like that than there are instances of people actually drinking it. Like for all the alcohol that was present in the movie and all the party scenes and everything, I only counted 2 times that I could see it being consumed on camera, which is wild, and that's usually the standard. Like, it's interesting. It's one of the things I'm liking about trying to keep track of this stuff is like I start noticing shit like that I never did before. Like, a lot of the times when you see alcohol present in a scene, at least from what I've kept track of so far, you never really see anyone drink it. It's just there and they act drunk, so you're like, oh yeah, they're drinking alcohol, but you don't see them consume it. Cannibal cat fights involve a lot of biting, and it's kind of hilarious. Just because it's one of those things like, oh yeah, they would immediately start biting each other because they're predatory cannibals, where that's just on the table.
Mm-hmm.
And then, yeah, like the whole hereditary cannibalism thing, like that's interesting, and it makes me want to know more about it, but the movie just kind of leaves you with that twist and is like, oh shit, and then you cut to the credits. But it definitely makes me, like, I want to know more about that. How does that work? But yeah, I really enjoyed it the first time, I enjoyed it the second time through as well. I did notice that, like, the second time through, it's probably just because I was familiar with it. It wasn't nearly as shocking to me. Like, I couldn't remember exactly beat for beat everything that had happened, but, like, once it happened, I was like, oh, right, yeah, and then they do that. So the shock factor, at least for me, wore off the second time through, but it was still, like, a really cool story. Definitely one of the more unique and interesting takes on cannibalism that I've seen. And yeah, it's got that good blend of like kind of slice of life, kind of weird extreme French horror, kind of art housey, kind of some Argento vibes, and just like bizarre that I really liked. And this one, like, even though this one falls into the category of the acts of cannibalism we see, it's raw. It's consumed raw. But this one, kind of like how Green Inferno was like, it treated it like meat. This one kind of attacked the other side of it, like the emotional element of consuming human, where it almost made it like pretty much an orgasmic experience, and it felt like it. Where it's like, okay, yeah. You're kind of swaying me to wanting to take a bite, even though it's not, cooked. Because, like, damn, you make that shit look tasty. Just based on your reaction. Like, the crazy sex scene she has with her roommate is just fucking wild.
Him just stopping her from biting. He's like, cut it
Like,
out.
yeah, like that, where, like, she's just, like, up until that point, she's, like, this demure, sweet, innocent young girl, and then she goes full-on predator mode, and is just, like, fucking the shit out of him, trying desperately to sink her teeth into him, to the point that she finally just gives in and bites herself to the point of she drawing blood. It's just like, holy shit, that's some freaky sex. But yeah, no, Raw. I liked Raw. What categories did I give it? I gave it best or favorite music for me, and most disturbing. Oh, and favorite story, favorite poster. Right, I already covered that. All right. Anybody else got anything to say about the Raw?
No, I think you got it.
Sweet. So we can go into the category, or the ranks, rather. The ranked movies and the I'd eat that category. I guess I'll go first. Number 1 for me this month, Bone Tomahawk. Because Bone Tomahawk is my kind of movie.
Yeah,
it's comfy, it's entertaining, it's got great characters, it's got some extreme gore and like fucked up shit in it, and it's just like so much fun to watch. Close number 2 is Raw, followed by The Green Inferno, followed by Welcome to the Jungle. Naffy?
Pull that Excel sheet up. So
Sorry, go ahead.
what?
No, it was a random thought that I really shouldn't have thought out loud.
So my ranked movies were, the first one was Raw, Bone Tomahawk, Welcome to the Jungle, and then The Green Inferno.
Alright. Fish?
I realized I kept writing Into the Jungle instead of Welcome to the Jungle.
I picked up on that. I just corrected it on my sheet. That's fine. It's a wordy title.
Yeah, I put that as first because I was just so entertained by that movie.
I looked at your sheet and I was like, is Fish throwing me the attempt at a mercy win this month? Like, what the fuck?
That's how much I fucking love that stupid movie. I mean, maybe because Bone Tomahawk, I've seen it once already. Like,
right.
That this was fresh that it hit number 1 for me, but it did. Bone Tomahawk was second, Green Inferno, and then Raw. Wait, those is ranked, right?
Yeah, ranked.
Okay.
Yeah. Cattle?
I did Bone Tomahawk, then Green Inferno, then Raw, and then Welcome to the Jungle.
Alright. And for a custom monthly category, simply titled I'd Eat That, which the notion of that was, like, which one of these movies, like, from first to fourth, made the act of cannibalism the most appealing, or the most appetizing, where you saw it on screen and you're like, yeah, I'd take a bite. For me, number 1, Raw, because, like, yeah, I'd like to take a bite into something and then immediately jizz my pants because it's so fucking good. And then followed up by The Green Inferno, because, yeah, they cared about the fucking meat and they prepared it properly. Like, that's the type of meat that Gordon Ramsay might even take a bite of and be like, well done. It's medium rare. Followed by
fall off the bone tender.
Yeah, followed by Welcome to the Jungle, simply because you really didn't see what they were eating. So yeah, could have been anything. I mean, according to the reports of how it tasted from the characters in it, it tasted really good. So and then finally Bone Tomahawk, because they were just eating that shit raw, right? Just a severed arm, taking a chunk out of it, and it didn't really look that appealing. And they were treating it just like a snack, so they weren't. There wasn't even a flutter of arousal with each bite. It was just an afternoon snack for them, and I'm like, yeah, no, yeah, I mean that suits you fine, but I'll pass.
That's what
thank
you're
you very
used
much.
to.
Yeah, I'll pass. I'll go to the Arby's. Thank you very much. Neff.
So I enjoyed Green Inferno was number 1 for me. Because I mean they salted it and seasoned it, and who doesn't like a good seasoned meat?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Raw was the second one. Just again, yeah, that orgasmic approach to it. Welcome to the. I think I had the same lineup you did. Yeah, Welcome to the Jungle. I mean, they said it was good. And then Bone Tomahawk, same reason, man. That's just I don't want to eat it when it's still arm. I don't just like the same way I wouldn't want to eat a cow leg. Like I wouldn't just want to eat the leg,
like a turkey leg.
Well,
that's
yeah,
mostly but it's still it's
that.
plucked and it's cooked and.
Yeah, I'm not gonna eat it. No.
Like raw made eating raw chicken seem compelling, and I know that's a terrible idea, and I would never do it. But like watching it in that movie, I'm like, I get it. I see where you're at.
I see where you're going with this.
Fish.
Green Inferno, same reasons. Raw, same reasons. Into the jungle. Welcome to the jungle. Simply because I was thinking the whole time that I was doing this that I'd take a bite out of Bijou. She's crazy. I mean,
Bijou's loins.
She's gotta taste good.
Yeah. She did have nice loins. I mean.
And then Bone Tomahawk, because I swear to God, this movie reminds me of The Forest. And like all I can think of is Disney eating the fucking body parts.
At least
and chaos just ensues.
At least even in The Forest, you had to cook that meat.
Yeah. But still.
Kettle.
Yeah, I had Green Inferno because goddamn, they looked like they really knew how to smoke and season that meat. Raw because if it's that good, sign me up. Also, cute French chick tastes like curry. All right.
Yeah.
Then Welcome to the Jungle.
I like curry.
I love curry.
Yeah, curry's delicious.
Welcome to the Jungle because Bijou, it'd be a toss-up. She might taste good, or she might just taste like cigarettes. Like you never know.
But you know her meat is well like basted in alcohol.
Oh yeah, you're gonna get a nice sear on that when you're frying that up. And then Bone Tomahawk, because they're just eating raw limbs and shit. Like, that's not very good. At least put some seasoning on it or something.
Yeah, some barbecue sauce, like something, man. Like, come on.
Those troglodytes need to know the tangy goodness of barbecue.
Right? We need to send some missionaries into their domain so they can be like, this is how you cook human. Here, let me introduce you to salt. It's gonna blow your mind and raise your blood pressure, but you're not gonna really concern yourselves about that because we're in the Old West times and we don't know shit about that.
You don't know what blood pressure is.
The taste. Yeah, it's fine. All right. Yeah, Neff, Fish, and Kettle, you had all the same rankings. I just flipped Raw and Green Inferno, and even then, that was a tough one. I was like, do I want like the better preparation, like culinarily speaking, or do I want the emotional thing? And I want the emotion. But yeah. So now we get to reveal the losers and the winners. Winner, rather. So, in last place, to the surprise of fucking no one with 74 points, Welcome to the Jungle. In third place, with 130 points, we have Raw.
Oh.
Yeah. And then, as usual, I'll reveal the winner. And then second place, the winner of Cannibal Month, with 159 goddamn points. Bone Tomahawk.
Yeah.
Congratulations, Fish. And then Green Inferno came in second with 141 points. And yeah, the base scores helped out a lot with both of them. The Green Inferno had a base score of fucking 50. Like, Green Inferno kill count 34. Nudity, it took the win for most kills / dead bodies. Nudity 2, drug count 2. It would have been even higher if I had counted every single one of those tribesmen who got high on the weed, but I was like, I'm just gonna... like, by the time I realized that I should count that, I had already passed the scene. I'm like, I don't want to go back. I'll just give it the 1. Alcohol count 11. That was the Green Inferno is the exception. Like, when they're on the plane drinking the beer, like, yeah, you see a bunch of people taking drinks of beer on that scene. And then a sex count of 1 because Alejandro had to jerk off. Yeah, Bone Tomahawk had a kill count of 27. So,
jeez,
is beefy. A lot of dead things in Bone Tomahawk. Yeah, congratulations, Fish. Did you win last month?
No, Neffy did.
I won.
Neffy won last month. That's right. With
I won the month before. Though.
House the Jack Belt. That's right. So what are we? So October.
Mm-hmm.
October, special month, spooky month.
It is a spooky month.
We're gonna be doing. Unless anybody has a problem with it, by all means, voice it. But we were planning on doing a double up month, doing 8 movies instead of the 4 for Halloween. Everyone's still cool with that. Like, each of us picks 2 movies?
I suppose it could be done.
Well, it ain't 31, and you know you can watch 31 movies in the span of October. We ain't doing that craziness again. So, I mean, if there's any reservations whatsoever, please air them now before we commit to this.
No,
I mean, my only thing would be then the
butthurt.
resulting show will probably be 5 to 6 hours long, and
that is fair.
Yeah, you're not gonna like. I can sit here and be on camera for that long, but I'm not gonna be of any use.
What if? Okay, so
yeah,
and that's definitely fair. What if we split it into 2 episodes, like a Friday and a Saturday?
No. I don't know if I can do that, especially during October. I'm already going to be booked for shit because I don't know if we're going to want to do a Saturday again. But I can tell you right now, I can't do Halloween itself.
Halloween's on a Saturday this year, isn't it? Okay, yeah. So yeah, scheduling we're gonna have to work out. We can do the normal 4 as well. I just remember we talked about potentially doing 8 a while ago. Now's the time to confirm or deny whether or not we're doing that. So
the time constraints seem difficult unless we can find a way to like kind of quick fire it more so. But I don't know if it would work.
Let's do 4
because it's so
Let's do the usual 4. I'm good with that.
Yeah, because I don't know if I can. Yeah, I don't know if I can make a promise.
Yeah, like I'm already hearing like 2 voices being like, I don't know, like I want to like make you happy, but at the same time, that's
more or less. Yeah, it's like not to rain on anybody's parade, but
and let me just like curb that right now. Like I hear 2 voices of uncertainty. I'm gonna make the executive decision and say October's just a regular month. We're doing 4. All right. Now with that sorted out. Probably should have done that behind camera, but
actually,
whatever.
I would say
we did it live.
Maybe something we could just throw in at the end. It would just be like a little like, oh, and I also watched this, and that was nice. Like,
yeah.
Because we'll probably have some other movies to talk about in general. If there's just like a little if we want tangent whatever or anything you happen to watch or talk about. It's just like maybe at the end a quick little thing of like, oh yeah, I watched this.
We also watched these. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
That's a good middle ground. I like that. So Fish. You got any ideas what we'll be doing for the theme of October?
So I was going through this list that you made because I haven't looked at it in a little while.
It's massive.
And I'm scrolling through the whole thing because I'm listening to you guys. And I'm like, I'm probably going to end up winning. So let me figure out what we're going to do.
Wow. She's not,
Oh, stop!
Full of
Don't make me
herself.
feel bad about what I just said. It was true. Like, I'm like, I can pretty much like listen to what we were saying in reviews, and I was like, fuck, I'm probably gonna win.
You did, yeah. It was close though. Like the only one like clearly out of the running was my movie, and honestly, I was not surprised by that at all. But between the rest of you, it was close.
We were like, I hated it, and I was like,
Yeah, you were the only one that was like, this is quality entertainment. Everybody else is like, nah, it sucks.
I didn't say it was quality. I just said it was entertaining. So as I came up to 139 and I was like, I really want to do some Peter Jackson, but then I read upwards again and I saw 135 and you've got Robert Englund on here. And I think I want to do some Robert Englund.
You want to do Robert Englund month?
Especially since there's so much of his I haven't seen outside of Freddy. Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to have to look through his filmography.
Yeah, because I don't know a fucking thing he's done outside of Freddy.
Yeah, he's done a lot. There's a lot to choose from.
Yeah.
Like, I tried to make sure when I was making that list that I didn't include a theme that was like, well, yeah, there's like exactly 4 movies that fit this theme. Good luck. Everyone pick one and we'll see what happens. Like, no, I tried to make sure there was enough to draw from that we could actually come up with some stuff. Do you have one already, Fish?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think Fear Clinic looks fucking cool.
Is that a movie or a TV series? I was under the impression that it was a TV series.
Is it? Wait, hold on. Let me just double check because
they might have also done a movie, but I'm pretty sure it was also a TV series.
Okay, then I have to hold on. Because this was telling me whether or not it was a TV series, so I'm not sure. It's a film.
Okay. It was Fear Clinic? Yeah.
Fear
Clinic.
Clinic.
It does say 2014 film. Yeah.
And I don't know how much he's in it, but it says I looked under.
Oh, it was a web series. Okay, so the movie is based on the web series. Okay.
Gotcha.
Okay. But presumably the movie.
Robert Englund. So
yeah, Robert Englund's definitely in it. Yeah.
Okay.
And honestly,
Fiona Dourif.
In any degree of like, if Robert Englund is present in the film in a big role or a small role, I would count it for Robert Englund month. Okay, so Fear Clinic.
Bride Dourif's daughter is in this.
Yeah, I saw that. I've seen her in the later Chucky movies. She's very good. I'm excited to see her in something else. Yeah, I think the rest of us are gonna have to consult IMDb.
Yeah.
Okay, so definitely Fear Clinic.
I'm gonna do the last showing.
Wait, what?
The last showing.
Is that a Robert Englund movie?
Yes, he's on the cover of it.
I've never even heard of that one. That's cool. The last showing. Also from 2014. Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Because like my gut is to do the Mangler, but
I almost picked that one.
It's good.
Yeah, if I was drawing from exclusively just like Robert Englund movies I've seen, I would definitely do the Mangler. I might still do the Mangler, but I want to look through his stuff first. But okay, October 2020, Robert Englund month. I'm excited.
We'll get to Peter Jackson month at some point because his horror is fucking great.
Oh yeah. No, Peter Jackson month would be a lot of fun too. Well, hey, thanks for doing the thing.
Thanks for doing the thing.
It was a good time talking about the chompy cannibals. Thank you.
I have an important announcement.
Is the Purr Factory open?
The Purr Factory is open.
Oh, fuck. But, yeah, thank you everybody in chat for hanging out. I'll be back Monday with something. I don't know what yet. And, yeah. I'll just let auto host take over. Have a good weekend, everybody. And we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.